San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Thursday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. A little partly cloudy morning this morning. Feels like fall, finally, for the first time this kind of week, as we are now deep into October. Only 8 days away from Halloween, which I heard Sam Levitt's not a big fan of, Frank. Not a huge Halloween guy.
It's blasphemous.
I like Halloween. I don't like dressing up. I agree with Sam. I hate dressing up.
That I will, yes.
I am fully on board with Sam on not dressing up. A sprinkled donut costume idea is phenomenal, by the way. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I bet you I could find some dumb costumes on Amazon for like $10 and like make it worth my while. Dressing up for Halloween parties, out. Dressing up for actual Halloween, also out. Decorating my house for Halloween, in.
Yes.
Handing out candy, in. Helping out the parents with some adult handouts in terms of beverages, in.
Okay, you said beverages.
I had
at
to
the
say
end.
beverages.
You saved it.
I had to say beverages because your disgusting mind would have gone somewhere else.
Phrasing?
Exactly. Also, there's usually like Thursday night, there's usually like a football game on or something like that, or the World Series Game 6 could be on. That would be spooky. How to watch the Dodgers, that would be, yeah. I like Halloween. I think Halloween's cool. Is it my favorite holiday? No. Not really. Not really close. But you know what? It is up there. I do like to celebrate.
More of an Arbor Day guy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge Arbor Day guy. I feel bad for Adam Klug's kids, though. They don't get to celebrate Halloween. They got to fly to Atlanta on a Thursday, and then they have a family event on Friday that they have to do where he doesn't. You got to hook him up with, like, candy of some kind. Or, like, makeshift the trick-or-treating in, like, wherever you're at. I don't know. Something's not right about this.
Just go up and down the rows of the plane. Trick or treat.
That's not a bad idea. I bet you people would give him stuff.
It's the best way to get free snacks. Stock up on those.
What'd you get? I got more pretzels.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Pretzels.
I wanted a peanut.
Oh, they don't have those on planes anymore for people like you. Ruined it for all of us, Frank.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted peanuts. I got a rock. The best line, Charlie Brown. Great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. All right. Try to ease into it a little bit. Playing off of Sam Levitt's morning show this morning. I got the sprinkled donut part with the Halloween deal. He's not a huge Halloween guy. Fair enough. I don't mind it. I agree with a lot of different things that Sam said about dressing up. I'm not part of the deal, okay? So if I have to dress up, it's got to be slapped together. I'm not getting a full effort in that. You know what? If I don't win the costume contest, fine. Now, that being said, Frank, I might dress up on Monday. You want to know why?
Why?
The Poway Sportsplex.
Oh, boy.
There's guys that, like, they used to just, people would dress up for games, for softball games, like the week of Halloween. And so now they're officially doing, like, a contest for, like, the teams. The best dressed team's going to get pizza.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, you know what? We might have to put something together here. I might have to play in a costume just for fun. I have to figure out what that costume is, but I might have to do it.
It's not going to be like a full-on Scream robe, though. You won't be able to get away with that.
No, probably not. I could wear a sheet over my head and call myself a ghost.
So lazy.
I was that one time for Halloween.
That's so lazy.
I was a Charlie Brown ghost.
I mean, that's fair.
I put a bunch of like black felt dots all over the costume.
When you're a kid, that's
great.
fair.
One of my friends was roadkill one year. He got a white T-shirt. He ran it over this car. He cut holes into it. He got bunny ears and like clipped one of them. splash some ketchup stains, bang, roadkill. I'm like, what a genius idea.
That's hilarious.
And way more effort than putting a gigantic nickel on your back or a quarter. What are you? I'm a quarterback. Lame, kid. Lame. If I was a teacher, I'd get fired because I'd make fun of too many of the costumes.
I'm dressing up as Vlad Jr. to my Yankee fan friend's Halloween party.
That's a good call, Juan.
That's incredible.
That's a good call. I like that. Some people like Halloween, some people don't. I can't tell you the last time I dressed up for Halloween. My family's done a haunted house the last couple of years, not doing one this year. But that's the talk of the town sometimes. And I always tell people, like, this is for like kids 12 and under. There ain't nothing in this thing that's gonna scare anybody that's in high school unless they're a high school girl and they just like to scream for no reason. That's the only thing that our haunted house would scare.
You added too many words to that. I think you could have ended that at high school girl.
Yeah, they'd scream and yell over the dumbest things. They get scared at the haunted house, and then kids under 12. And then after that, it's like, all right, I mean, you're not going to scare anybody unless you got a chainsaw. Then you're going to scare a lot of people. It's not a bad idea. I'm going as something Yankees fans see in their nightmares. What could that possibly be?
David Ortiz.
Let me ask you this. As a Mets fan, Frank, if you had a party, what would be the most terrifying costume that involves the Mets walking through your door?
The Mets walking through my door.
Anybody wearing Mets anything?
Yep.
No opponents?
When you've beaten yourself for so long, it's kind of hard to really match an opponent that's beaten you.
If I was the Padres and I had
Bro comes in the chat with Bobby Bonilla.
Oh, but this is not a bad bit here because we're gonna get to this NBA thing, which is crazy. Name me like if I'm the Padres, the scariest thing walking through that door is either like Charlie Blackmon or Juan Uribe. I can't tell you how many times Juan Uribe beat the Padres almost single-handedly.
I would say I think Charlie Blackmon.
Charlie Blackmon's a good option.
Yeah, that would be a real.
Anyone else?
Kershaw.
They hit Kershaw a decent amount. I wouldn't say Kershaw. I would say like
the Kershaw crying meme that killed you.
I would say Austin Barnes. The low-level Dodgers are the ones that kill the Padres. Guy walks in my house in Austin Barnes jersey. No, get out.
You're done. You're done.
Dansby Swanson, not a bad one, Ray. Just after the last series. I mean, who else in like San Diego lore, like nightmarish? You walk in with a Nate Kading jersey, I'm gonna lose my mind. Marlon McCree. That'd be rough. Marlon McCree jersey walking in. That'd be a nightmare because if he doesn't drop that interception, if he doesn't fumble the interception, the Chargers are still here. That might be the ultimate Chargers Halloween scare for San Diego Charger fans.
Wasn't there someone on the Patriots you guys really hated for a while?
All of them. Oh, they had the who was that guy? He was a Charger for a little bit, but not Rodney Harrison. What was his name? He was the receiver that like did the lights out dance.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
What was that guy's name? That's how much I've paid attention to that. I think anybody in a Steelers costume, the Chargers could never beat the Steelers growing up, at least to me. And to be honest with you, if you walked into Indianapolis with any type of Chargers jersey, they'd probably flip. Billy Volek jersey walking in Indianapolis. Remember this guy, buddy? Playoff game? Billy Volek, Michael Turner taking over. What was that guy's name? Slater? Was it? No. What was his name? I forget.
Hold on. Let's see if I can find this.
Yeah, look up that deal. I think it's kind of funny. What else we got? Ryan Leaf costume. I don't know. You know what? I've gotten to know Ryan Leaf, like post all that stuff. I don't really mind Ryan Leaf.
Vince Wilfork, Roosevelt Colvin, and Ellis
Rashay
Hobbs.
Caldwell. It's Rashay Caldwell. Go Aztecs is right. Rashay Caldwell. Definitely one of them. Who else? Who else do you just like not
Someone
like?
Just said Ryan Leaf in the chat.
What about like guys like players that cursed your team in terms of like spending a lot of money, wasting money on that guy?
James Shields.
What about Eric Hosmer? Do you think that would be a big one for a lot of people in town? Eric Hosmer? That might be a scary costume to some Padres fans. Derek Vineyard, Barry Bonds. Didn't really have a problem with Barry Bonds. Who else?
Andrew Kashner was a terror for a while.
Andrew Kashner. That's not a bad one. What about Jake Arrieta? A great pickup that was. EC Money in the chat. Keenan Allen with the Raiders hat. Yep, that was a good one. Of course, Dean Spanos probably. Sterling. Just name all the bad owners that San Diego's had. Bobby Bonilla for the Mets. There it is again. There it is again. Juan Ruiz, good one. Ken Rosenthal. Matt Holliday. Yeah, Matt Holliday's a good one. We're talking about like scariest costumes for San Diego sports fans. You sound like, this guy's a nightmare. Alexi Amarista. Yo, dude, foul on Go Aztecs.
He draws the foul.
Not really Eli Manning, though. The Chargers used to own Eli Manning. That's not like a scary costume. San Diego Rocket jerseys. Somebody goes like Kyle Blanks. What did Kyle Blanks ever do to you? Not Kyle Blanks. Cole Hamels, okay. I mean, there's got to be other guys that... Xander Bogart's walking in with an umpire head. Maybe. Oh, here's a good one. Matt Bush. What about Matt Bush? That's a great one. I'm watching on my fridge. Matt Bush. You know who I am? I'm Matt bleeping Bush. That really worked out for the Padres. Matt Bush. Yeah, I understand he won 2 Super Bowls, but Eli Manning could not beat the Chargers. To say the
caller
least.
on hold here.
Scary costume of a fan. What do we got here?
Go with Celeste in Claremont. Go ahead, Celeste.
Celeste, what's going on? What's your scary Halloween costume for a sports fan?
Well, no, I was just going to say you were talking about players that were like nightmares walking through the door. So for the Padres, I was thinking Drew Pomerantz because he was with us forever, never did anything, and then he pitched against us, so did really well in the playoffs. That was all.
Drew Pomerantz, that's a good one. Yeah, add him to the list.
But remember, they converted him into a starter, and he did well.
Yeah, but then he refused to play for the Padres.
Exactly.
Was sitting there eating ice cream, collecting a check, didn't want to play. Then he leaves, and now he's like, "Oh, no, now I'm going to pitcher again." Yeah, screw that guy. That stinks.
Austin Nola.
I'm getting accused for hating Yinzers now because I said any Pittsburgh Steeler. The context, man. The context is key. You know who doesn't listen more than everybody else? Are my friends. They never listen.
Exactly.
All the thing, apparently, the people I hate. I don't hate anybody. Says he's scared of people in Steeler jerseys. They didn't understand the bit. They're not getting the bit. They didn't understand the bit. Adrian Gonzalez in a Dodger jersey. That's a nightmare. I would say that's a nightmare. He used to own the Padres, and it was unfortunate because he was a local kid, and he could have stayed with the Padres, but the ownership at the time didn't want to pay him money. Go Aztecs. I will stand by the foul I received. I can't believe he picked Alexi Amarista. What did he ever do? How about Ryan Ludwig?
Nothing. I think that was the problem.
Ryan Ludwig's a good one, too. That guy got acquired by the Padres, didn't really do anything in a Padres uniform, and then all of a sudden he was just complaining that the fence was too deep.
Ed Hockley.
Can't hit. That's a tough one, too. That's a tough pill to swallow. Ed Hockley. Yeah, that's a good one. Ed Hockley when the Chargers played the Broncos. At least he went out and he was upset about it. Juan Ruiz, Peyton Manning's forehead. I don't know about that. Matt Kemp in a Padres jersey. Good call. Good call. Good call. Yeah, Ryan, we see it too, buddy. We see it with the Dolphins thing. He said Sean Merriman. I don't know if Sean Merriman's on the list. I'm trying to think. I mean, I bet you there's so many guys that the Chargers wasted money on in the past. But
I remember Chris Chambers being a big deal when they traded for him and not really getting too much in return.
No, Chris Chambers did pretty well for the Chargers. He was pretty solid. Vincent Jackson was good. I'm trying to think of other guys that they had.
LaDainian Tomlinson in a Jet jersey.
LaDainian Tomlinson in New England, like his last year. Yeah, that's a nightmare. That's nightmare fuel right there. Kyle Schwarber, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't remember David Boston really doing anything in a Chargers uniform. He could be on that list. I think Nate Kading for sure takes the cake. Marlon McCree dropping the ball. Nightmare fuel for San Diegans. Everett Cabrera. Justin Turner's a good one.
Trevor Hoffman in a Brewers jersey.
No. Trevor Hoffman throwing out the first pitch in a playoff game at a Brewers jersey. That's nightmare fuel, too. Nightmare fuel. You got any other ones for your sports teams? I mean, I've listened to a lot of San Diego ones, but like, say I want a Patriots jersey, yeah.
John Rocker wasn't really like, he didn't own the Mets, but there's just more rage with how much he hated New York in general. I think a John Rocker jersey would not be all that great.
I can't really say Tom Brady because Tom Brady like beat everybody. It's not like, Tom Brady was like a big deal. I'm trying to think of like in the past.
Jimmy Rollins.
Chris De La Cruz. Half of these are more rage bait and I'm here for it. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey. Khalil Green just disappearing. But he did that with the Cardinals. We talked about Charlie Blackmon earlier, for sure.
Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan was more annoying than anything else.
Rex Ryan's foot video, that would be.
Oh, hey. Wander Reeves. Nate Kading is the only sports figure that made me cry as a child. So him. I'm just saying, like, these are not like hate. It's more like nightmare players for the city of San Diego they had to deal with.
Chipper Jones for the Mets.
For the Mets?
You know it's bad when a guy names his kid after your stadium because he hit so well there.
His kid's name is Shay.
The kid's name is Shay. Larry Jones.
How about Antonio Cromartie trying to make a tackle? Ray Rice, 30-yard rush to get a first down. That is nightmare fuel for San Diego fans.
See, again, Rod.
No.
Too far.
Come on, Rod.
Too far.
The Matt Holiday play, for sure. For sure. Eddie Vedder in a Cubs jersey. Nightmare fuel for San Diego fans.
And Mariner fans, too.
Oh, man. Nightmare fuel. I mean, you could talk about maybe future nightmare fuel with some current Padres you would hate to see on the wearing the blue. That would just piss everybody off.
Juan, I don't mind the Philly fanatic.
What about Tom Seaver in a Reds jersey?
Yeah, I think they called that the Midnight Massacre. So yeah.
Nightmare fuel. The letter that Dean Spanos put out with that stupid new LA Chargers logo when they moved to LA, nightmare fuel.
The break that we're gonna have to take right now, nightmare fuel.
Yeah. All right, so we got through that. A lot of great participation in the chat with that. And we'll continue throughout the day because Halloween's next Friday, and I'm sure we could talk about it again next week. I mean, think about like what type of costume walking in to a Halloween party that would be nightmare fuel for you as a sports fan.
See, everybody
833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We've talked about a lot.
So everybody missed out on foreplay at 6:00 this morning. Brandon Wood's not being on, so we had to fill the gap.
And from there, we're going to go to the biggest story in sports. What in the world is going on in the National Basketball Association? We'll talk about that and get your phone calls when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, off and running on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All guests on 97 to the Fan. Join us the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We're going to talk about this NBA mess in just a little bit. But I did get a couple of texts. We're talking about in the opening segment, the nightmare fuel for San Diego sports fans. And people are putting their comments in there, like, because we got Halloween next Friday. So we're at 8 days away from Halloween. What sparked this was, Sam Levitt on the morning show talked about how he doesn't like Halloween and stuff. And then we went on this little tangent about nightmare fuel for San Diego sports fans. And to be honest with you, I can't believe I totally forgot about this game. It actually happened on Halloween. I remember this. Chargers and Chiefs. Back, and I think it was 2011. At Arrowhead, Chargers were tied with Kansas City 20-20. They had the ball 1st and 10 at the Chiefs' 15-yard line after Jacob Hester ran up the middle for a 1-yard gain to get the first down. 1 minute and 3 seconds to go, tied at 20. And the Chargers are basically about to take a knee to set up what would be a game-winning chip shot field goal. And Phillip Rivers fumbles the snap. Kansas City jumps on it. They don't do anything with it. They throw a pick. You get to overtime. Chargers possess the ball first. They go 3 plays, 8 yards, and punt. Chiefs put all together a 14-play, 74-yard drive and kick a game-winning field goal to win 23-20 over the Chargers. That is some nightmare fuel.
I think War Machine wins this today.
Yeah, the San Diego guys singing "That's What's In." Yeah, that is nightmare fuel for sure.
I think that's the winner.
That is definitely up there. That is up there. Bruce Bochy, 3-time World Series champion with the Giants. That's some nightmare fuel.
Getting arrested by the FBI for a gambling scheme.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. We only got a couple of minutes, so let's get these phone calls real quick, and then we'll come back with the NBA stuff. Dexter in Spring Valley. I'm sure Dexter's got a fun Halloween nightmare fuel idea. What do you got for us today?
It's a double entendre.
Mm-hmm.
Roseanne Barr
Mm-hmm.
and Roseanne Barr National Anthem.
The legendary Roseanne Barr National Anthem. Was that a Qualcomm, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That's a
What
great
world
one,
is that?
Dexter. That's the ghosts in the deal.
Goes in the mic.
Kevin in Chula Vista, you got any nightmare fuel?
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
The Holy Roller play with the Chargers and the Raiders, and I don't remember the year, Braden. It's long before you guys were born, 77 or 78. And here Ken Stabler and the Raiders basically down on about the 20-yard line, and they fumble out the ball, and they kick it, push it, and shove it into the end zone. And Dave Casper falls on it. And I think the most remarkable thing about that is the year later, if you're a Charger fan, you mark your calendar day by day by day for the revenge game. So the leading merch item that year following was a sun visor with the Charger bolts on it that says Oakland sucks. And we got them that year. But that defined the rivalry, which it's unfortunate that we lost all of that. But it sure was hell going through that one.
Appreciate the phone call, Kevin. Holy Roller play, September 10th, 1978. I've seen that highlight 1,000 times. That is some nightmare fuel. We had another one. I got one DM to me. The non-strike 3 called in the 98 World Series, the Tino Martinez. Nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel. My resident Cowboys fan weighed in. He's like, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, Thanksgiving RG3, Anthony Brown, 2018 divisional playoffs, Anderson, Trevon Diggs, toughness in 2023, all divisional round playoff games, Tony Romo trying to hold a field goal. Yeah, I bet you that's a long list. Nightmare fuel.
Luis Rise batting number 2.
Oh, that's rough. The Roseanne Barr one was good. That's a good call by Dexter. Good call by Dexter.
Call.
Let's see if we got one more person here, Frank, as we list the nightmare fuel for the final time and then get to the NBA news today, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to talk about this NBA thing.
Yes, hello, on air.
Oh, we're going to put it on.
Yeah.
Wow. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I don't know if anyone said this, but Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, yeah, that's one that's slightly been said. Is that the nightmare fuel for Jay Posner? Don't talk to me, all right? That highlight, Ryan Leaf. Cool. Is that Roseanne? No. Hilarious. Modern nightmare fuel, as you mentioned, Frank, that Chris De La Cruz put a rise in the 2 spot. I will also say, our friend of the show, Perez, says Tony Gwynn Jr. after a Cowboys loss because he just is insufferable to Perez. But I would also say Perez after a Lakers loss because Tony has to wear it all the time. New York Mike weighs in. What has he got for you?
That Beltran looking at strike 3 for Wainwright.
Chase Tingler, Nightmare Fuel. This is a fun bit. I like this. This was fun. We might have to revisit this next week on Halloween.
Yeah.
Scary sports moments for us here in San Diego. Scary for the NBA today. Might be Kash Patel, the FBI director. There is a massive story today that we need to break down, and it involves the NBA, and it could be deeper than we think. We'll talk about what we're talking. We'll talk about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number sports station 97 through the Fan. I just got the entire rundown of Atlanta sports from Adam about Nightmare Fuel. He was about to leave to go get a burrito for lunch or maybe a breakfast burrito, whatever. He's been here since 6 or something because he produced the show this morning for Sam, who's filling in for Ben and Woods. And so I asked him on the way. I made the mistake of asking him this. I opened Pandora's box, asking an Atlanta sports fan, who, by the way, he understands. Like, they've won a World Series recently. They've won the national championship with Georgia a couple of times. Like, it's understanding he's had some good fortunes now. But he was just going off. I was like, it has to be the Super Bowl, right? Being down, like, up 28-3. And then he started listing, like, all of these things. The Braves in 96 took 2 in New York against the Yankees, then lost 4 straight games to lose the World Series. Ouch. Yeah, the Atlanta any of the Falcons ones are crazy. Atlanta Hawks had the 1 seed. They won 60 games in one season and then lost to LeBron in the finals. Crazy. What else did he have? I couldn't even keep track of all the things that he had. It was some serious nightmare fuel.
28-3, of course.
The Falcons ones too. And then he starts listing. I mean, there's like other things that are like non-sports related, like having, you could have, the tragedy that was, the entire Mike Vick situation. The tragedy, obviously, for like the dogs and everything. I mean, there was just like when you have like arguably the best player in the league doing something like that, going to federal prison at the top of his game. I mean, that for sports fans, it's one thing, but like what he did was even more disgusting. I mean, the list just kept going on and on and on. We've got a text now. Braves only won 1 World Series in the 90s with 3 first-ballot Hall of Fame pitchers in the starting rotation, 1 first-ballot Hall of Fame third baseman, a first-ballot Hall of Fame manager. The Marlins won 2 World Series during that span. Nightmare fuel. The other thing, too, was, so he's like going off, and then John Flint from Quezon walks out, and he's like, are you okay? And then I said, well, here's the bit. It was like nightmare fuel. Like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened? Because he's a Bears fan. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to the Bears? And he was like, how much time do you have? I feel like every sports fan can relate to this particular subject. You guys all have. Everybody's got their own, like, nightmare fuel game. To me, like, losing 61-58 to Baylor to knock us out of what was the first college football playoff. Beating Iowa State by 50 points and dropping from 3 to 6, nightmare fuel. Finally making the national championship and not showing up, nightmare fuel. I mean, I could list a bunch of TCU ones. Those are just kind of recent. It's a crazy bit. But I don't know if it's as crazy as what happened this morning. The FBI held a press conference this morning to put details out around a sports gambling bust that happened today. It's been a couple of years in the making of video surveillance and all this stuff, and Kash Patel talked about it in the press conference. Everybody aired the press conferences except for one station. I mean, almost every cable TV had this press conference on except for the one that has the contract with the NBA. Oh, it's kind of weird. ESPN didn't, the four-letter network didn't want to do that. Interesting. Anyway, from that press conference, here's what you need to know. This is the details that came out in the press conference about this NBA gambling situation. This is laid out perfectly by Joe Pompliano on Twitter, sports and business account, host of the Joe Pomp Show. He basically did the translating for us on the press conference. He put this out in a tweet. Here are some highlights from the Cash Patel press conference today. And that obviously involves sports. That's why we're talking about it. Number one, current and former NBA players and coaches, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones have individuals have been arrested, 13 mafia members. How about the week we've had, by the way? We had a jewel thief going on at the Louvre. We got a sports gambling ring with the mafia. I mean, what year is it? Yeah, here we go. The case involves La Cosa Nostra, the Italian mafia.
I'm not going to say this is good, what happened, but...
Yeah, we should probably cut the music now. We just needed that just for La Cosa Nostra.
There's some national pride.
Yeah. Organized crime's been around apparently for Frank. Oh, you know what? Frank's acting a little sus right now. He's a little excited about this. A little sus. Guy's taking the Italian heritage a little too far. Anyway.
If you're going to own it, you got to own it, man.
Yeah, you know what? You're going to get a knock on your door later today. What's going on with this Marchese fellow? All right.
Just a local idiot. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, he's just a local idiot. Charges include illegal gambling, wire fraud, and extortion. There are two separate indictments. The first involves 6 defendants accused of participating in a sports corruption scheme that exploited insider information involving NBA players and teams. The defendants leveraged their connections to place prop bets based on confidential insider information, winning tens of thousands of dollars per bet. The second indictment involves 31 defendants charged with participating in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. The FBI says they used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The two cases are separate, but there are 3 overlapping defendants, including former NBA player and coach Damon Jones. The FBI says the NBA player Terry Rozier told the defendants that he was going to leave a game early. This is one of the craziest parts of this deal. So Terry Rozier told defendants that he was going to leave a game early on March 23rd, 2023 with an injury. The defendants then placed more than $200,000 of wagers on unders for his prop bets, with Rozier leaving the game after 9 minutes. Those bets paid out tens of thousands of dollars in profits, and the defendants and Rozier counted the money at his house. Terry, buddy, what are we doing?
Well, talk about being in the jackpot.
His ass is in the jackpot. All right. I got to get to the Terry Rozier. Let's just talk about Terry Rozier for a second before we dive deeper into this crazy story. And there's a lot of headlines on this. But Terry Rozier, I had it before of like how much money he's made. Here it is. Wait, hold on. Terry Rozier's salary this year, because he's still playing, by the way. Terry Rozier's salary this year is $26.6 million. He has made $160 million in his career. He told, I guess, friends or his buddies that bet all the money on the unders. I'm going to leave this game with an injury early, leaves the game in the first 9 minutes, goes home, and then counts all the money with his buddies at his house that includes tens of thousands of dollars in profits. Tens of thousands. He gets paid $26 million freaking dollars. Tens of thousands. It is what he just threw his life away potentially for. Again, this is all alleged. It's not been proven yet. That is not just illegal. That is mind-numbingly stupid. Mind-numbingly stupid. For a guy that makes $26 million a year, pulling a gambling sting of $200,000 in wagers with him and his whatever acquaintances in prop bets to win, quote, tens of thousands of dollars. What a stupid play. The defendants and Rozier counted the money at his house. So dumb. The FBI says that former Raptors player Jonte Porter, remember him? He got banned from the NBA for whatever, kind of doing the same thing, was threatened to participate in the sports gambling scheme because of his gambling debts. He owed the Italian mob a lot of money, apparently. Teams that were bet on during the sports gambling scheme include the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Raptors. And that's from the sports gambling scene. The other scheme is also kind of crazy. It was the rigged poker games. So they had these rigged poker games in the Hamptons, Miami, Las Vegas, and Manhattan. This is where Chauncey Billups gets involved. The poker scheme targeted victims who were lured in to participate in rigged poker games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes. These athletes included Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, the Hamptons is that luxury town on the way east end of in the way east end of Long Island.
Nate in the chat, if you're betting on the Hornets, go ahead and call the hotline.
Oh no.
What's worse, betting on the Charlotte Hornets or betting a Coosa game on a Tuesday? What is more sicko?
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466 for a full list of games and rules. Played at 7 Mile Casino.
Oh, man. The FBI says that the defendants utilize, this is from the poker game. FBI says that the defendants utilize altered shuffling machines to read the cards in the deck and then relay that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator known as, quote, the quarterback. What a great name for that. Then sent that information to someone at the table. The FBI also says that the defendants utilize other cheating technologies, including poker chip trays that read cards through hidden cameras, special contact lenses, and glasses that could read marked cards, and X-ray poker tables that could read cards face down. The FBI says that the defendants actually robbed a victim at gunpoint to acquire the rigged shuffling machine. You know what I picture? Does anybody remember Ocean's 13, where they were trying to rig all the games to try to, steal from Bank, whatever the guy's name was, the Al Pacino character. Remember the little nerdy guy that was the tech guy?
Yeah.
I literally are picturing the cast of The Sopranos holding up that guy with his shuffling poker machine at gunpoint. That's what I picture in the entire, they robbed a victim at gunpoint to acquire a rigged shuffling machine. We're not even done with this yet. The sports gambling investigation is called, quote, Operation Nothing But Net. What a troll job by the FBI, by the way. Operation Nothing But Net. Who says the FBI can't have some fun, huh?
You know what's going to be really funny is when all these guys get off scot-free because they did nothing wrong.
Yeah, there you
That'll
go.
be even funnier. That'll make the name even funnier.
I'm
Nothing
sure.
but brick.
I'm sure they'll do. I'm sure. So, Operation Nothing But Net was for the sports gambling thing. Do you want to know what the poker investigation was called?
I don't have to guess because I'm looking at it right now.
Anybody want to make a guess in the chat? Go ahead, make a guess in the chat. What do you think the poker sting was called? The poker investigation. I'll give you 5 more seconds to put in the chat. Operation
2-7 offsuit.
Operation Royal Flush. Cash Patel and his guys, man. Hey, you know what? I like this form of the FBI. This is funny. I mean, the press conference, they're making all of these basketball puns. I mean, that's just hilarious. The FBI has been working on this investigation for 4 years with victims losing at least $7 million. One specific victim lost at least $1.8 million. The FBI viewed thousands of hours of video evidence and executed more than 24 search warrants. There are just accusations at this point. These are just the details of the FBI's investigation. There's a lot to unpack on that. I mean, it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier.
And we're going to have Brett Siegel on tomorrow at 11 to discuss this further.
There's starting to be some highlights too of like Terry Rozier. I don't know what the game I keep seeing was that from last night?
No, the
Terry Rozier against the
the
what's it called?
Knicks. The Knicks played the Cavs last night.
What team is Rozier on now? Is he on the Heat?
No, but it looks like they're playing the Cavs.
Oh, is that who they're playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the land. I don't even know. I mean, I can't keep track with the City Connect stuff that they have. So I don't know what year that was from.
Probably
That was rough. My entire Twitter feed is just filled with this stuff. But it is an incredible breakdown of this. And I guess it's just touching the surface. I mean, there was another report, or at least in the press conference, about how it mentioned load management. And that was part of the deal. And so you look at where everybody's complaining about the load management in the NBA. I mean, if that is part of this deal, this thing is just, I'm probably touching the surface. I mean, this is crazy.
And again, we will have Brett Siegel on, NBA Insider, to discuss this tomorrow at 11. So if you want to hear more about this, tomorrow at 11 is going to be when you're going to want to tune in. We got 2 packed shows today and tomorrow.
This is just a crazy deal. We're going to try to break down more of this when we come back. So they had the poker deal, the unders, tons of stuff. We'll break down more of it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Just getting started. San Diego's number sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right. We got some more information on this deal. I mean, there's just going to be more and more news popping up. So Chris Mannix, who is a senior writer at Sports Illustrated and contributes to NBA on NBC, NBC Boston, DAZN Boxing, a lot of different things. He got a copy of the indictment he put out there. And in this copy, it says a lot of interesting things about insider information. The part of the indictment that is on this, and again, this is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. He's Frank Marchese. You've had some rough internet today, big dog. Your camera's been blurry like all morning.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the heck
Is it plugged in?
Everything's
We got a hard line in there?
Everything's fine. Everything's as it normally is.
You know what? This started to happen once you started to get super proud about the Italian connection here. You know what? They might not be mutual exclusive, but you know what? I'm just asking questions. So, and part of the per the indictment, take a look at this part. It's titled February 9th, 2023 and January 15th, 2024, Los Angeles Lakers games. Directly from the indictment. The defendant, Damon Jones, is a former NBA player and assistant coach. Jones played in the NBA from approximately 1999 through 2008, including as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers from approximately 2005 through 2008. Jones was an assistant coach on the Cavaliers for approximately 2014 through 2018. Jones was also an unofficial assistant coach of the Los Angeles Lakers during the 2022-2023 NBA season. During many of those years, Jones was a teammate or coach of a prominent NBA player. He is listed as Player 3. An individual whose identity is known to the grand jury. By virtue of his relationship with Player 3, the Lakers and other NBA personnel, the defendant, Damon Jones, had access to non-public information, including medical information that had not been released to the public. On multiple occasions during the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 NBA seasons, including as early as approximately December 2022, Jones sold or attempted to sell for profit non-public information to others, including to the defendants, and listed in there, Eric Ernest and Marv's Fairley and others, for the purpose of causing or enabling them to place fraudulent wagers based on non-public information. For example, on or about February 9th, 2023, the Lakers played the Milwaukee Bucks. It is listed as, in the indictment, the February 9th game. On the morning of the February 9th game, the defendant, Damon Jones, sent a text message to co-conspirator number 9, writing, quote, "Get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight before the information is out. Player 3 is out tonight. Bet enough so D. Jones can eat." He should be arrested just for using D. Jones in the third person in a text message. That's my opinion on that. But you know what? We'll move on. At the time, Jones provided this non-public information about Player 3 to co-conspirator 9. Player 3 was not ruled out on the NBA's injury report for the February 9th game. Due to a lower body injury, Player 3 did not play in the February 9th game, which the Lakers lost. So, again, if you want to go look at the injury report, you can. From February 9th, 2023. The Bucks beat the Lakers 115-106. There are two players that did not play. One of them did not play with a sore left ankle. Now, as this is, again, this is not saying that that player had anything involvement, obviously. But they did know that that player was not playing. And then, therefore, sent that off. That's the problem. So the player itself, whether or not they're involved, it's going to be hard to prove that that was the case. at least in this particular deal. But it's very interesting that that was some of the information that was getting leaked out. You can make your assumption who that is. Go look it up. I mean, it is what it is. Bet all the money in Milwaukee. I mean, this is some crazy stuff. And I'm curious to see how much deeper it goes. I mean, this took years of work from the FBI. This isn't like DraftKings investigating or like having a red flag on something. This isn't FanDuel. This isn't, something recent with the new regime that's in charge, right? This is years of work. And it just keeps getting more and more dirty as we go along. But this is some crazy stuff. And I'm trying to keep it up as much as possible. But Stephen A. Smith today said more is coming. And so I'm curious to see where it is coming. NBA Players Association spokesperson to SI Now had this to say: the integrity of the game is paramount to NBA players, but so is the presumption of innocence, and both are hindered when player popularity is misused to gain attention. We will ensure our members are protected and afforded their due process rights through this process.
Like, that's fine. From what it sounds like, what is happening here is all either off the court or insider trading. I don't think this has anything to do with game fixing. I mean, you could say with Rozier, with him going out early in a game, you may call that game fixing, but it happens so early in the game, anything can happen. I wouldn't say this has anything to do with the integrity of the on the court product. This sounds all off court and insider trading to me.
Well, I mean, if Rozier is telling people that he's going to be out in 9 minutes.
Right, but that's
some on-court stuff.
That's 9 minutes into an hour-long game. That's anything can happen.
Yeah, but it's,
No, I understand. It hurts his team for sure, but anything can happen at that point.
Oh, you're saying they're not like, well, I mean, this is just what they've caught. Who knows what they're trying to do?
Right.
I just think the game fixing is, that it's just too much of a red flag. And there's so many ways that you can gamble on just prop bets that's just their new way of doing things. But I would imagine, I would not be surprised if there is still game fixing. This is more than just an NBA problem. I mean, this is just like the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we heard comments a couple of years ago from a Vanderbilt quarterback that he was offered $300,000 to lose a game. And people laughed at it like that was like, oh, that's like 1920s thing. There's no way that's going to be a deal. And now all of a sudden you get all this information coming out and it keeps getting more and more and more. And to me, like the Rozier thing is just stupid. The Rozier thing is just stupid. Like, why would you're making $26 million this year? And you told people to bet the under on all of your props, and you were going to leave the game early with an injury so you guys can collect tens of thousands of dollars together? What?
And you also can't say we got to make laws about gambling. Pete Rose got banned for life from Major League Baseball while gambling was illegal. So it's not like if you make new laws about gambling that it's going to go away. This has happened before. Donaghy, I'm 32 years old. That happened in my lifetime. That's a lot more recent than a lot of other big scandals, and that was when gambling was illegal, except in Vegas, of course. But it's not like making new laws and making new rules is going to curb this. It's going to happen. And the way it sounded like this happened, it's the old ways. It's betting, it's betting on games, insider trading, and rigged poker games. That's been happening forever. So it doesn't matter what you do as far as a laws and rules standpoint, this is going to keep happening.
It is going to keep happening. But, the difference is.
Bless you.
The thing is and I heard this the other day, and I kind of like, I'm starting to understand why this was already happening, and now with legal sports betting, it's getting flagged a lot more, and now it's coming to light a lot more. So, if you think that just getting rid of if you think like making sports betting illegal again is just going to make this disappear,
no,
it's not. It's not going to. It's just going to be. You're just not going to see it. You're not going to hear about it anymore. It was always going on, but with more and more legal sports betting, and a lot of companies getting affected by this, and you're going to see a lot more of this coming to light, and you're going to see more investigations that the FBI is doing. There's going to be a lot more things getting flagged.
And with how pervasive it has gotten in the daily sports diet, I've watched every single second of all 6 Islander games this year. Every single intermission, they have put up live odds on the screen. Every single one. You see it in ball games. You see live odds. You see in football games, prop bets and live odds. It's thrown in your face. So yes, obviously, that's going to have a big impact on what these guys do. And especially now, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, because I have it in the sports thread. Just yesterday, the NCAA, allowed college kids to bet on pro sports, college athletes to bet on pro sports. That was yesterday that happened. It's only going to get worse, and the rules and making new laws is not going to fix anything, because it's just going to put it back underground.
And you see, it took ESPN forever to even start covering this today.
Yes.
Because they got skin in the game, because they have this gigantic investment in the NBA. They just paid for inside the NBA, and they have all this rights to the NBA. They finally get to it. They start blaming some of the stuff on people that aren't really involved. And then the other thing too, they tried to while they're talking about this, they got ESPN Bet on the
bottom ticker.
Talking about hey, if you bet $10, you can get 100 on the thing. And then all of a sudden they try to wipe it clean in the middle of the segment about Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups.
You know what would have been easier? Had they switched that part of the ticker to an ESPN logo or promoting another show coming up later, instead of just doing the obvious thing, which was just removing the whole ticker. That was what made it so much worse, is that they just removed the entire ticker. So stupid. So stupid. And again, for people in the chat, I'm seeing it in the chat. This is not a political conversation.
No, this thing's been going on for multiple years.
Yes,
this investigation. That's over 2 different presidencies.
Yeah, this is not a one or the other. This is strictly about gambling and betting in sports. This has nothing to do with political affiliation, nothing like that at all. We're not giving kudos to one and not the other. We're not saying one did a better job than the other. We are looking at this and commenting on this based solely on the impact it has on sports and sports gambling. That's it.
Yes.
No other assumptions being made.
This investigation started under the Biden administration and has now continued into the Trump administration. So what do you say about that? Stephen A. Smith said it was like a Trump thing.
No,
he just took over.
Anything like this is years in the making.
Years
when the FBI starts breaking down rings like this is years in the making. This wasn't done in 5 seconds. This wasn't done in 2 months where you built up enough evidence to start arresting 50 people. That's years.
Here's the thing, though, and because people are going well, if you just get rid of, again, I just mentioned this. This has always been going on. It's just in the light now.
Yes.
That's the only difference. So would you rather just sit there and go, like, just put your head in the sand and pretend that it's not happening when you know it is, and just live in like, oh, well, it's not, we're just going to pretend it's not happening? Or would you rather just have it come to light and be like, oh, this is all the years of, how long this has been going on? Do you think, like, for the people that go like, well, if you just get rid of the gambling and the NIL money, is this just going to go away?
And
is it just going to go away?
And Adam just sent it to us now. ESPN airs its first traditional news coverage of today's stories of today's bombshell FBI investigation implementing Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier at 2 p.m. on the 2 p.m. Sports Center.
Right. So
it's
that
when
is
they started covering this.
What time is that on the West Coast again?
Now.
11? Yeah, that's right now.
They just started to cover it.
This is why, like, and we were going to talk about this yesterday. I mean, because you saw, like, did you see the report from Stuart Mandel on the TV ratings for college football?
Is that the one you sent me?
It might have been like the 5 million viewers. This is why all of that is just so rigged. Because all of these media entities have their own, I don't want to say agendas, but they have their own connections that they pay for and their own interests and investment interests. And ESPN has invested a lot of money in the NBA. And when you watch ESPN and you watch Fox and you watch all these outlets, who do they never criticize? The leagues that they are partnered with, they never criticize.
Nope.
They criticize the other ones. So the fact that they're not covering the NBA deal is not crazy to me. It's on par. It's one of their partners. Like, if this happened in, like, the SEC, do you think ESPN would even touch this thing?
Nope.
No. Absolutely not.
Paul Feinbaum would be doing his best, like, impression to try to just, okay, look over there. Look over at the funny face
here.
Look at the funny face over there. Look at that.
Here's what gets me every time about these deals. I wonder how much money, like, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier was making on this deal, because as the reports from the indictment sounds like it's like tens of thousands of dollars
when they're making millions doing.
Here's
doing.
Here's Spot Track just tweeted this out. Chauncey Billups. You want to know how much money Chauncey Billups earned in 17 NBA seasons as a basketball player? He earned over $106 million. Now, that's in the past when they weren't making as much money. Now, the money was worth more, a little bit more back then with inflation and everything like that. Chauncey Billups earned over $106 million in 17 NBA seasons. He is reportedly making around $4.75 million per year as a head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. Why? Like, how you either are like a degenerate. I mean, he owes people that you shouldn't owe money to a lot of money, and he got himself into this. But, like, how do you make that kind of money and do these, like, I don't get it. That is all-time stupid. Terry Rozier, we talked about this. He has made over $133 million in a 10-year NBA career, and he's currently under contract with the Miami Heat at $26.6 million. If I'm making that kind of money, I'm not even gambling on anything. I guess unless your life is just so boring with all the money that you need some thrill. But why would you be willing to go to prison over tens of thousands of dollars when you have hundreds of millions? I mean, you can't find other things to get a rush. Go jump out of do skydiving or something. How do you? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'll never get it. I get, like, it's about the rush and the risk and the adrenaline, but, like, don't you want to do other things like that? I mean, it's a crazy story today that we woke up to. Crazy story that we woke up to, and we got to take a break. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll continue this conversation. A big bombshell in the sports world today here on the Braden Surprenant Show. This hour on 97 through the fans brought to you by Toyota of Poway, but it's San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today with APRs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats during the Trucktober sales event happening now only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotapoway.com in the heart of San Diego. Just saw this come down. In a 2023 podcast episode, poker player Matt Berkey told a story about how he heard people playing poker with Chauncey Billups, and he knew he was scamming and stealing money from an illegal gambling ring. Saw that on social media. There's a clip of the video. It's too long to play on the air. But like I said, this is years of work by the FBI. And there's so many more reports coming out on this. And it's pretty crazy. It's not super crazy, like you kind of like, you understand to an extent. But now there's a bunch of clips being posted about different situations, live videos, like highlights of like, this is what happened. This is what this guy did back in April of this year. And you see like some old highlights of Jonte Porter. You having some highlights about Terry Rozier. Now people are posting a lot of different highlights of different players not making shots. And a bunch of Sopranos memes, which also is mixed in this as well. But this is just a big story in the sports world. On the day after they allow college athletes to be allowed to gamble in professional sports. It's pretty crazy. I mean, think about like the money that you were throwing away for a little bit of a thrill and like probably going to prison. We'll try to keep you updated on this as much as possible. A little long in the last segment. I mean, there's obviously a lot of different statements coming out in other news, and we'll try to keep you updated. Brett Siegel will join us tomorrow to get us all the information. But this is just a crazy story that we're going to be talking about, I know, for probably the next handful of days, or at least the rest of the week. And we'll continue some of that in a little bit, but we do want to get to some of our other stuff, and we do got to take a break. We're a little bit late on the last one, so we're going to take a quick break. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's talk about some of the Padres' managerial conversations and the interviews that they have had. We'll go back into Padres baseball when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Good people.
Yes. It's going to be weird reading that one today. A lot. Kash Patel during the press conference said this is the insider trading saga for the NBA. Bad news for the NBA. Adam Silver. Welcome back to the NBA. Here's a gambling operation that's going on in your league. Oh, great. This is great. Portland Trailblazers have canceled their media availability today.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that one coming.
You think their PR staff could handle a media availability today? Are you kidding me?
There's other big news coming out in the NBA today. I think bigger news than this.
What do you got? Is it in the sports thread? Is that a tease?
It is in the sports thread.
Ah, tease. Nice. How about this? Rachel Nichols tweeting out. She tweeted this out 25 minutes ago. I have absolutely no idea whether Gilbert Arenas is involved in an investigation that led to today's FBI arrest, but this is from July, just resurfaced on my phone. Rachel Nichols tweeted this out in July. It's a video of Gilbert Arenas saying, snitching Gil coming soon, after being indicted on 3 federal charges accusing him of renting out his house for and helping arrange an illegal poker gaming racket. Gil is facing up to 5 years in prison, but seems willing to cut a deal, as quoted by Rachel Nichols on this tweet back on July 31st, 2025.
Cody in Wyoming. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Linda B. Johnson having sciatica recently.
Linda B. Johnson. That is what LBJ stands for.
It is. I believe he's Linda B. Johnson's passed on, has he not? I'm assuming he has.
Yes, LBJ is not on this planet
There
anymore.
we go. So I would doubt that he has sciatica.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll get more information on this as it comes about. I'm sure we will have more over the next couple of days. Brett Siegel will join us tomorrow. He's an NBA insider. I'm sure he is working really hard at trying to get all the facts done on this particular deal. I mean, it is Dan Wolkin Sports, senior writer at Yahoo Sports, quote tweets the Trailblazers have canceled media availability for today with, why? What happened? That's great. I'd like to see how they're going to try to play this off of. We just want to hear questions about the game coming up tonight. How's that going to play off? I mean, what a nightmare for the Trailblazers today. Your coach just got arrested by the FBI for a poker deal. Huh. Interesting. I mean, what are they going to do? Cancel media availability for the next week? They just got to go away? They're going to have to start getting their ducks in a row here. Aztec football. Gabe Camarillo is a sports anchor and writer for Fox 26 in Fresno. Will join us later on today as well.
Refresh your stream there.
I keep doing it. It just keeps doing the same thing.
FBI didn't like the coverage. They cut us off.
That's right. Looks like Cash Patel walked in. Whacked.
Lads,
That's hilarious.
we've been shut down.
That's right. All right.
It's over, chat.
Let's talk about the Padres for a second as we get more. I can't get off this story. It's just more and more and more. It's great. In terms of the info, I mean, obviously everything else is not great.
We're having a great offseason so far.
Just news upon news.
Padres gave us everything we needed last week. NBA this week is definitely going to leak into next week. This has been a good start to the offseason so far.
I mean, they even suspended an SEC official today.
Wow.
That's not even for gambling. That's
Oh
just
my God, what a nightmare for ESPN today.
I know, trying to defend everybody.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's talk about the Padres. Padres have officially begun the process of finding their next manager, and the first name in the mix is an in-house candidate, Brian Esposito. Esposito, who served as bench coach under Mike Schilt during the 2025 season, interviewed for the position on Monday. He's 46 years old. He's well-respected, baseball lifer, former catcher who spent 13 seasons in the minors and appeared briefly in the majors, 3 games total, 1 with the Cardinals in 2007, 2 with the Astros in 2010. He's known for his communication skills and player development background. Before joining Bob Melvin's Padres staff in 2023, Esposito managed for 9 seasons in the minor leagues, including 3 at AAA Indianapolis in the Pirates organization and another at Single-A Fort Wayne in the Padres system. With Mike Schilt's retirement after back-to-back 90-win seasons, Esposito represents the kind of steady internal voice who already knows the clubhouse, the pitching staff, and the front office culture. Yes or no on Brian Esposito?
No.
No.
I mean,
no.
It's good to know about him. It's good to know that the Padres have already conducted an interview. They've already done an internal interview for this. But I don't think that Esposito is going to be, certainly wouldn't be the sexy hire. That's for sure.
There's not a lot of hires that I would be super upset about. Brian Esposito probably will be a good manager one day. Maybe he could be. At this point in time of where the Padres are at, he's not the fit for the San Diego Padres.
Not now.
No, he's not.
Him instead of Jace Tingler? Sure. Right now.
What's the difference between him and Jace Tingler? He at least was a bench coach in the major leagues?
Sure.
Guy played 3 games in the majors.
It's the point of interchangeable name to help kind of start something. That's Jace Tingler. That feels like Esposito.
Esposito should, if he wants to be a manager, he can go be a manager for one of the other teams that needs, somebody. There's like 7 of them. 6 of them now. There was 8, right? Giants have theirs. Angels have theirs.
Giants have theirs. Angels have theirs.
1-year deal for the Angels.
Get to that tomorrow.
Kurt, what are you doing?
Insane.
Like, why would you? Whatever. Lame duck manager. But Brian Esposito, it's not, no. I'm out. Not interested. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a good baseball guy. You hear those phrases all the time. He's a good baseball guy. I'm sure he is. I'm out. I just, to me, what this team needs is not Brian Esposito. A young guy who I understand he's a well-respected baseball lifer. But to me, is he going to tell Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. to get into gear? I don't think so. Absolutely not. I'm out. That's what you need. You need somebody that's going to tell those guys to get into gear. And that's where you go to the other candidate. That's Albert Pujols. The headline interview. Bigger headline comes midweek. Albert Pujols interviewed for the Padres job on Wednesday. Future Hall of Famer, one of only 4 players in MLB history to hit 700 home runs. He retired after the 2022 season. Though he has never coached or managed in affiliated baseball, he has done it in the Dominican Winter League. He has already tasted success in that role, leading Leones del Escogido to both Dominican Winter League and Caribbean Series championships earlier in 2025. For the Padres, Pujols brings a unique profile, legendary playing career, 22 years in the big leagues, 2 World Series titles, and universal respect across the sport. Gives him instant credibility. However, his lack of professional coaching experience makes him a bold and unconventional candidate, which is exactly what I think the Padres need right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need somebody like that. Bold, unconventional. You want to know why? Because they've already tried the rookie guy twice. They've already tried the veteran manager twice. It's time to have a outside-the-box idea. Pujols' combination of leadership presence, bilingual communication skills, and deep ties to Latin American baseball culture could make him an intriguing fit for the Padres clubhouse, anchored by stars like Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Xander Bogaerts. Frank, let me ask you this. Who's under contract for a long time on this team?
Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Xander Bogaerts.
You can even add, I guess,
Jackson
Joe Musgrove,
Merrill.
Jackson Merrill, a long time.
Jake Cronenworth.
You need those players to perform at a high level. You need those players to kick it into gear. You need those players to have a Hall of Famer tell them what's what. You need Albert Pujols to be your manager. And you know what? If the risk is the guy doesn't know how to manage a bullpen, then so be it. Because you need somebody that's going to get what you paid for already, because you already spent the money. You need those players to perform at a high level. And if this is the guy that's going to get them to perform at a high level, that is the manager that you want. Not a guy like Brian Esposito might push the right buttons and a well-respected baseball guy. I don't care. If he's not respected by the four guys that are leading that team, that are paid to be the best players in that team, then it doesn't really matter. We already tried the no manager experience with a guy that barely, with managers that have never played in the big leagues. We've already tried the veteran managers. That didn't get it far enough either. It's time to go with somebody that has been there and done that before and understands and can relate to your top players. You need somebody that's going to be able to relate to your stars the most. And that right now is Albert Pujols. And we'll see where the search continues. Padres have not announced when they plan to interview other potential candidates, such as pitching coach Ruben Niebla or external names. General manager A.J. Preller is expected to cast a wide net, balancing experience with leadership impact as the organization tries to sustain its recent success and finally push through to consistent postseason contention. With Esposito representing continuity and Pujols bringing an allure of star power, Padres' early moves signal a search that could shape both the team's identity and its long-term culture. So far, if those are the only two that have been interviewed, I vote for Albert Pujols until somebody else knocks my socks off. And I don't even get to talk to him. I'm not part of the interview process. Do you have any other thoughts about that?
No.
How do you feel about that?
I agree with you. I think at another day and time, Esposito would be the right manager for this team, but not right now. This team needs a kick in the rear end, and I don't see Esposito being that guy.
How many backup catchers do need to be managers? Is that just what you have to be, a backup catcher?
Yep.
I mean, you have a starting catcher every once in a while, but it's like, start thinking about all these managers. They're all like backup okay catchers. Bob Melvin, backup catcher. Kurt Suzuki, backup catcher. Mike Scioscia, starting catcher. Also a catcher. Does it have to be a catcher? Catchers make great managers. I'm sure they do. Apparently, they're the only ones that are getting an opportunity. Dave Roberts is able to win. He's a center fielder. I just, stop trying to pigeonhole. I think too many people try to do the copycat thing. Well, he's a catcher. I think you need a little star power. All right, what else happened in the NBA today, Frank? Let's get to today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me.
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what do we got today? That's not a gigantic gambling probe.
We've got the big story coming out of the NBA today.
Oh, yeah, the big
Number 1.
The big one.
The big guy.
Back by popular demand, the NBA Finals will have the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy logo returned to the center court for the final games this year. How awesome is that?
Is it going to have poker chips on it, too?
No.
Is that a foul?
No, it's not a foul.
That's clean. That's clean today. Clean.
That's a clean.
That's a
shot
clean,
today.
hard play right there. Finally, I like that.
Fans on social media complained during Game 1 of the past finals between Oklahoma City and Indiana when they saw there was no finals logo decal on the court. It's coming back.
I like it.
Completely overshadowed by something else.
I like
Wonderful.
it. I like it. Sounds good. Finally back.
Except the ghost playing with your microphone.
Yeah, I don't know why that happens.
Number 2.
This was something that we alluded to earlier. The NBA approved a rule. The NCAA, approved a rule change yesterday that will allow athletes and athletic department staff members to bet on professional sports. 2 weeks after the Division I cabinet approved the change, Division II and Division III management council signed off on it, allowing the new rule to go into effect in about a week. This doesn't change the NCAA rule forbidding athletes from betting on college sports. The NCAA also prohibits sharing information about college competitions with bettors. The institution also doesn't accept advertising or sponsorship of NCAA championships by betting sites. Any chance with the news today that this rule changes?
Oh, no way. No way. The toothpaste is out of the tube. I've heard that probably 15 times this week from college coaches and other entities. It's full speed ahead. And let's add more. I mean, you're going to start getting some college kids with some gambling probes here.
Good.
Don't be surprised.
Love it. Love hearing that.
Number 3.
I didn't realize there were this many gambling stories. But
Is
here's
this
another
segment
one.
brought to you by DraftKings?
It might be. The NHL yesterday as well announced multi-year deals with prediction market companies Kalshi and Polymarket, a sign of the market's increasing prominence as they disrupt traditional sports books in the betting landscape. Prediction markets such as Kalshi and Polymarket allow users to trade on the yes-no outcome of sports, unlike sports books such as FanDuel or DraftKings. Kalshi and Polymarket operate in all 50 states, including California and Texas, where sports betting is not legal. Last month, Kalshi added sports parlays to its platform. The licensing deal will allow the companies to use the league's data as well as its marks, logos, and official designations, similar to the league's agreement with its official sports books. Yesterday morning, after the deal was announced, Kalshi offered contracts on the Stanley Cup Championship alongside the Pro Football Champion and Pro Basketball Champion. So now the NHL is getting into what sounds like just yes, no. Will this team win? Yes or no, instead of your normal score, your normal book, which is different.
More gambling.
Yeah.
That is what's making sports a ton of money. Are they going to stop that? Absolutely not.
It's amazing.
Keep it coming. Any more gambling stories?
Number 4.
No more gambling stories, but we will kind of stay within the NHL and NBA as the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Toronto Raptors have started to flex games that are overlapping with the Toronto Blue Jays World Series games. Toronto sports fans are undeniably some of the most passionate fans in the world, and we are proud to have a city team come together and give these fans the opportunity to experience a significant moment in our city's and nation's history, said Keith Pelly, the president and CEO of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, which owns the Maple Leafs and the Raptors. So any game, it sounds like, any game that the Raptors and Leafs were playing that would run in opposition with the World Series this year have now been flexed to give fans time to watch both.
All right. Good play on the Toronto
Absolutely.
teams. That's pretty cool. And hopefully the Blue Jays win game 1 tomorrow.
Yes.
We got another NBA story today.
Oh, God.
That involves a wild shipping scheme. And
What?
Shaquille O'Neal, the victim. We'll talk about it when we come back. Wow, NBA stories today are on fire. Braden Surprenant Show, new lunchtime hour. 97 to the Fan.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? It's a noon lunchtime hour here on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Usually don't start it off with guests too many times, but we have an opportunity to get a preview of the Aztecs and the Bulldogs for the Old Oil Can. That's coming up on Saturday. Aztecs are going to go up to Fresno to take on the Bulldogs. They won't be saying Fresno. They'll keep continuing to call them the team up north. And so for a preview of the team up north, we now bring in Gabe Camarillo, who's a sports anchor and writer for Fox 26 in Fresno, joining us today on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. All guests on 97 through the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Greg, how's your Thursday going? Gabe. Greg Camarillo is a former NFL player that works here in town in the media, Gabe. And so with you having your name Gabe Camarillo, I knew I was going to call you Greg at least once. So my apologies. Let's start from the top. Gabe, how is your Thursday going?
Let me tell you, it's going great, but you're not the only one to call me Gabe. I go on the radio in Boise with Ball Game up there. He calls me Greg all the time. So please forgive yourself. You're not the first, and you won't be the last.
Well, I appreciate that. So aside from getting off to a rough start, I want to talk a little bit about, Fresno State, their programs in general, and then we'll get into the game coming up. Fresno State is one of the teams like San Diego State that's going to be joining the new Pac-12 with Washington State and all the state schools, if you will. Fresno State has been a traditional, really, really good football program for a long time. What would you say the state of Fresno State Bulldog football is right now with everything going on in college football? What's the health of this program?
It is healthy. It won 5 of its first 6 games without having the starting quarterback, starting running back, or 3 starting receivers from last year. And most of the defense was replaced, but they still won 5 of the first 6 games. That's the sign of a healthy program. Even with all the turnover over the offseason and a new head coach, it seems like the kids from the Central Valley, and this is a hotbed of talent, guys like Xavier Worthy came out of here. Most of these guys stay to play for the Bulldogs. You look at some of the running backs for this team, some of the most productive players on this team are from the Central Valley. So as long as Fresno State can keep 90% of its top talent home, and they've already done that with a big recruiting get. They got a 4-star quarterback, Deegan Rose, to flip from Oregon State to Fresno State. As long as they keep that going, this program will be healthy.
How are they in terms of competing with, trying to be with everybody else in the NIL department? I mean, I know like the Fresno State Bulldog program, from watching from afar, has always looked like they are they're the professional team of the Valley, and a lot of good local, support for Fresno State. How do you see them keeping up with the rest of college football? A problem, obviously, that we have to deal with down here in San Diego as well, and for a lot of teams that are in what is called the Group of 6.
Yeah, they do it by, as I said, keeping the guys home, but also making more with less. They don't have the great facilities like some of the other teams in this new Pac-12 conference have. I went to Snapdragon Stadium for the first time a couple years ago for the Bulldogs trip there, and I was blown away with how fancy everything was. I mean, there definitely is a gap between Fresno State and the rest of the conference in the stadium department. They could use an upgrade there, but they still make it work, and they still get buy-in And I think, honestly, a huge part of it's also the coaching, the guys who get the players to buy in. Matt Entz and his new coaching staff, I think they are part of the solution to some of Fresno State's financial issues because they're able to get the most out of these guys who come in and you don't think they're going to be as big of an impact, but then they end up playing a huge role. Guys who were bench players at their previous schools, they come in and start making impact right away. I think of a Kivion Thunderbird who was buried on the depth chart at Arizona State, and then he comes to Fresno State and has the game-winning pick six against Hawaii. So this coaching staff and just all the people involved in the program, I think, make up for what this university and athletic department lacks in terms of financial dollars.
We're talking with Gabe Camarillo, who joins us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. He works in Fresno as a sports anchor and a writer for Fox 26, giving us a preview of the Old Oil Can game coming up over the weekend as the Aztecs will make their way up to Fresno for this traditional rivalry. A rivalry they didn't get to see last year. The Aztecs won the Oil Can a couple of years ago and will bring the Oil Can with them to Fresno. But Gabe, in this new era of college athletics, I mean, it's kind of a shame you don't get to see the Old Oil Can matchup every single year.
Yeah, blame the Mountain West for that one, because how did Fresno State and San Diego State not meet last year? Mm-hmm. It was because of that scheduling format. And it happened to Fresno State also with Boise State, another fierce rival for the Bulldogs. They didn't play for the Milk Can last year, and I thought that was kind of shocking. So at least in this new Pac-12, we're not going to miss our rivalry games.
Let's talk about this game coming up. Now, Fresno State, as mentioned before, 5-2 on the year, 2-1 in conference play. They started the season off playing a really tough Kansas team out of the Big 12, to get a loss early, and then they ripped off the 5 wins, as you mentioned. A very uncharacteristic game against Colorado State. Before we talk about this matchup against the Aztecs, what happened in the game against Colorado State, which made it, kind of look like an anomaly of a loss for Fresno State?
The Bulldogs fell behind early, and that's not the strength of this team. The strength of this team is to play with the lead, to run the ball 40 times a game. They ran it the fewest times they've done it all season, 21 carries for the Bulldog running backs, and I asked E.J. Warner to throw the ball close to 50 times. That's not how Fresno State wants to play. They want to be a ground and pound, run-first attack, but because Colorado State broke off a 70-yard touchdown run because of some poor tackling, this was by far the Bulldogs' worst tackling performance since Kansas. 15 missed tackles, according to Pro Football Focus. That, and then the fact that they turned the ball over 4 times, one of which was swooped and scored by Colorado State to put them up 35-7. Yeah, no, this team is not made to play from behind. And if they fall behind against the Aztecs this week, we might see something similar.
Yeah, we might also see a ground and pound game. As San Diego State's got 3 running backs and a great run game. They like to call their, Aztec fast offense. And it sounds like Fresno State also a little ground and pound. Might be a quick one on Saturday with a lot of running clock. But let's talk a little bit more about the game within the game. Let's talk from a defensive standpoint for Fresno State. You talked about the missed tackles, but overall, not doing that poorly. I mean, a solid defense. They're going to have to stop a 3-headed monster, which is the running backs for San Diego State, but also, a new resurgence of Jaden Denical at quarterback. How does the defense for Fresno State line up against this Aztecs offense?
They have been hot and cold. They struggled against Oregon State. Oregon State picked up over 500 yards of offense, but then they turned around and have their best game of the season against Hawaii. I have a lot of respect for the Warriors quarterback, Micah Alejado, but he did not look good at all against the Bulldogs. 3 interceptions. That pick 6 I mentioned from Thunderbird ended up being the game winner in a 2-point victory for the Bulldogs. And then they turn around and get 4 turnovers in a half against Nevada, puts that team up 20-3 at halftime, and they end up holding on to win 2017. So the defense, it kind of been great at times, but also it's been gashed at other times, like this past game where Colorado State picked up huge chunk plays on the ground. That's something that Fresno State really hasn't surrendered. I think a huge part of it has been that defensive line. They got a USC transfer at D tackle, Dejan Lafitte, who has been putting offensive lines through fits a little bit. He's been a run plug up the middle. And then coming off the edge, they have the former USC top recruit, the 4-star Corey Foreman. Hasn't quite panned out to what we thought he would be. We thought he would be just this game wrecker and all Mountain West performer based off of the fact that he was the number 2 overall recruit coming out of high school in the country, but he's been kind of rotating in with other guys. I think for Fresno State to win this game, knowing just what San Diego has offensively at quarterback and with the run game, they have to play, they have to pass rush really well and put San Diego State behind the sticks, put them in 3rd and longs, but Fresno State hasn't really done that much in recent games.
Let's go back to the offense, Gabe, as we talk with Gabe Camarillo, who is a sports anchor and writer for Fox 26 in Fresno, giving us a preview of the old oil can. E.J. Warner, senior transfer from Temple and Rice, 69% completion percentage this year, 1,486 yards, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. When asked about it, their head coach said, we need EJ to have more skin like a duck. We'll let things go. One bad play can't turn into 4. For the offense of Fresno State, I know you kind of talked about this, but they're going against the defense in the Aztecs that have allowed the 3rd least amount of points in all of college football. What does EJ Warner have to do to not get rattled against the Aztecs defense?
Sounds like not turn the ball over, but easier said than done when you're facing 2 NFL draft picks on the Aztecs defense, at least according to Matt Entz, who thinks that the Aztecs have a couple NFL guys. I kind of agree. I'm a big fan of Trey White and Chris Johnson. I think those are going to be EJ Warner's biggest foes on Saturday. And if EJ can stay upright, that's mostly on the O-line that has been ravaged by injuries so far this year. If the O-line can keep Warner upright and give him a few more seconds, that's when he's been at his best. It's been when Warner has been under siege. That's been when Fresno State struggled on offense, because Warner, he can scramble a little bit. He can get out and pick up a few yards with his legs. But for the most part, when he's under pressure, that's when he's turning the ball over. And we saw that against Colorado State. We've definitely seen this Bulldog team not reach its full potential on offense. I think we still have yet to see Fresno State look at its best, because for one reason or another, whether the run game hasn't been going, and that's been the case for the last 2 weeks, or just the quarterback turns the ball over, I don't think we've seen this best offensive game from Fresno State yet. It could be this week. I'm not sure, because you're telling me San Diego's the best defense in the conference, and I believe it. But it's really been because of the turnovers. And at this point, there definitely feels like a change could come if we see another 4-turnover game from EJ Warner this week like we did last game.
Last thing for you, Gabe, as we kind of wrap this up on the matchup coming up on Saturday of the old oil can. How important do you think it is in this day and age of college football for these regional rivalries, for the health of college football, and also kind of follow up, how important is this matchup for Fresno State in terms of their school and everything playing the Aztecs for the old oil can in this rivalry game?
I loved that Sean Lewis leaned into it at Mountain West Media Days, because that's what we need more of. We need more coaches playing up the rivalry part of it. It's honestly what separates college football from the NFL. And then I'm borrowing exactly from what Sean Lewis told me at Media Days. The NFL is obviously what college football is going to become in 10 years. Let's just face it. They pay players now. There's going to be a salary cap, and we'll probably have 2 leagues in 10 years, the SEC and the Big Ten, and then everyone else, right? So if we're going to follow the NFL model, we should still cherish what is special to college football alone. And that would be marching bands and rivalries, and regional rivalries at that. Fresno State, San Diego State, I've been going at it for decades. I saw a video on X, I think it might have been 1992, a video from that year when Fresno State and San Diego State were swinging helmets at each other. Absolute brawling. And that's the kind of hatred that you want sometimes in a game. You want that kind of history. It always kind of bugged me that San Diego State was in the Mountain West and Fresno State was in the WAC for such a long time, because that meant the rivalry was kind of sleeping. But then they got woken up again when Fresno State joined the Mountain West, and it was back to some crazy games. And I cannot believe that Fresno State scored 15 points in 13 seconds 3 years ago. I cannot believe that they beat San Diego State when the Aztecs were undefeated and ranked. 4 years ago. And I'm sure San Diego State is really happy that in Jeff Tedford's final game as a head coach, they beat him in Brady Hoke's last game as a head coach too. So there's some bad blood for both programs, some losses that both teams wish they didn't have against their rival. And that's what's different from the NFL. And that's what makes college football and Fresno State, San Diego State different from everything else.
That's a great way to finish it up. Gabe, I appreciate the time, and hopefully we'll talk to you again later on in the year, talking more Fresno State athletics. Of course, basketball season's right around the corner, so I'm sure we'll be in contact. Thanks again for the time, man. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Thank you.
Gabe Camarillo joining us on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. I knew I was going to call him Greg at least once. I called him Greg one time, and then after that, it wasn't the case. That's unfortunate that he has a name that's very close to a former NFL player.
Yeah, slick
that's
move there. Slick move there, Brandon.
Hey, man. Greg Camarillo has been on these airwaves. Not my fault. Not my fault. Anyway, this is going to be a good game. I can't wait to preview this game more tomorrow.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. When we come back, we're going to get to more Aztec football. Sean Lewis met with the media. We'll talk about what he said going into this old oil can game, and we'll try to continue some more San Diego State stuff, plus any more information on what happened today in the NBA with their gambling problem, the gambling probe that has gone with the FBI. We'll keep you updated on that as the Braden Surprenant show continues on 97.3 The Fan. Can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays to the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant, trying to keep you updated on everything going on in the Padres managerial search, but also a lot of these indictments by the DOJ on a lot of the situation with the NBA. I also mentioned, okay, so I got to get a couple of things out of the way. We teased the news about Shaq. Poor Shaq. Shaq's brand new tricked out 2025 Range Rover was jacked this week in Georgia. Story's pretty crazy. The Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office in Georgia tells TMZ Sports they received a report on Wednesday alleging the Hall of Famer's black Land Rover Range Rover, which had undergone extensive custom work at a local shop in Dahlonega, Georgia. I don't know how to say that. Adam can probably tell me, the Georgia guy. Someplace in Georgia, okay? This is where things get weird. Okay, listen to this. The intent was to transport Shaq's car to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but it never arrived, despite allegedly being picked up by a shipping company. Cops now believe someone might have impersonated the shipping company, acting as if they were the legit transporters, when in reality, they were just stealing the big fella's whip. Quote, preliminary information suggests that an unauthorized individual or company may have taken possession of the vehicle under false pretenses, the sheriff's office told TMZ Sports. Further inquiries revealed that a tow truck registered to Griffin Wrecker Service, LLC, bearing Georgia tag and the license plate, was involved in transporting the vehicle to an address in Atlanta. The person believed to have coordinated the tow has not been fully identified. No arrests have been made, and we're told the investigation is ongoing. Among the work done on Shaq's since disappeared ride, the seats were designed to fit a massive 7'1" frame, obviously, something O'Neal has routinely done to his vehicles, including his Lamborghini and his Lucid Air sedan. While many details are still murky, the circumstances are reminiscent of a situation celebrity chef Guy Fieri recently endured, highlighting during a recent 60 Minutes segment where he had thousands of tequila bottles stolen. The New York Post first broke the story of the theft. Dahlonega, Georgia. What a place. So somebody impersonated a shipping company and stole Shaq's car. What is going on in the world today?
Too much.
Too much.
Stupid people doing stupid things.
So Pablo Torre had something today.
Yeah, it sounds like Chauncey Billups wasn't just a mark. It sounds like he was kind of a ringleader in this whole
he's the dude.
Gimmick here.
The dude abides. Let's see if I can find that tweet. Okay. Pablo Torre on Twitter. If you watched our Pablo episode from July, which involves the character of Amar Oweda, a member of the Jonte Porter group chat, today's DOJ indictment is pretty interesting read. The defendant, Amar Oweda, also known as, quote, Flapper Poker, interesting, and Flappy, was a resident of Brooklyn, New York, an associate of the Gambino crime family, and a member of the cheating teams. Awade was an organizer of the Washington Place game and, with others, organized rigged games at the Washington Place game, among other places. The defendant, Saul Becker, was a resident of the Bronx, New York. Becker was an organizer of the Lexington Avenue game and, with others, organized rigged games at the Lexington Avenue game, along other places. The defendant, Chauncey Billups, was a resident of Oregon and a member of the cheating teams. Co-conspirator 8, an individual whose identity is known to the grand jury, was a resident of Oregon. Co-conspirator 8 was an NBA player from approximately it's blocked off because of the little image thing, 1990-something through 2014, and an NBA coach since at least 2021. On or about March 24th, 2023, the Portland Trailblazers played the Chicago Bulls, quote, the March 24th game. Prior to the game, the Trailblazers' record was 32-40, and the team was out of playoff contention with only 10 games remaining in the season. Prior to the March 24th game, co-conspirator 8, which sounds like it's Chauncey Billups, but he's co-conspirator 8, told the defendant, Eric Ernest, that the Trailblazers were going to be tanking, intentionally losing to increase their odds of getting a better draft pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Co-conspirator 8 told Ernest before the news was publicly announced that several of the Trailblazers' best players, including player 1, an individual whose identity is known to the grand jury, would not be playing in the March 24th game. The information that the Trailblazers would be tanking and not playing player 1 was not available to the public, including betting companies. Interesting.
So now there is game fixing.
Correct.
Now we've hit the.
Come on, you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen.
And no,
Frank was trying to be positive, man.
And no, Juan Ruiz, I'm not getting the question ready. Question's already been written. How many more indictments are coming?
No, it's just so many.
That's the question. How many more?
All right, I found another one. This is just, I mean,
we found another indictment?
Yeah. Frank's question of the day. Saturn has 103 stars in its orbit, but only 8 of them are considered nebulous. Name those 8 stars that are considered nebulous. Adam! From the top rope.
He draws the foul.
That might be a technical foul. That is amazing. That's
a third chat foul today.
Amazing. Adam has his own. He has boss fouls. That's a different category. Someone get Taylor Sheridan on the line. I agree. I can't wait for this to be in Landman somehow. We'll make a whole series on this. I mean, the Netflix doc, and I can't wait for the ESPN 30 for 30. I bet you they don't even touch this, by the way. It's NBA related.
Seeing a tweet here, the way the league used to handle gambling issues, and it is a picture of Michael Jordan at spring training with the White Sox.
I saw that. Here's another one for you. Another indictment. I mean, the pictures of this indictment thing is crazy. Reading through the Terry Rozier indictment, the inside information for sports betting 1, not the illegal mafia poker games 1, which is the one that doesn't explicitly name Chauncey Billups and got wide-eyed at the section on co-conspirator number 8. 1997 to 2014. This is the co-conspirator number 8, which is the whatever. This is the Chauncey Billups alleged deal. Yes, what is your...
Don't go to break until I tell you.
Okay. What are you doing?
No, I'm not doing anything. I just saw something.
All right. Here's more on the March 24th, 2023 Portland Trailblazer games. Okay, they talked about the whatever. Prior to the March 24th game, the defendant Eric Ernest provided his non-public inside information to the defendant Marv's Fairley so that Fairley could place fraudulent wagers on the game and share the profits with Ernest. In exchange, Fairley ultimately promised to pay Ernest at least $5,000 if the bets against the Trailblazers were successful. In addition, Fairley texted Ernest a screenshot of a purported $20,000 wire transfer from Fairley's bank account to Ernest, accompanied by the message address for wire. After the defendant, Marv's Fairley, learned from the defendant, Eric Ernest, that the Trailblazers planned not to play their best players in the March 24th game, Fairley conveyed that non-public information to co-conspirator 1. Fairley and co-conspirator 1 agreed to split the profits on successful wagers they could place against the Trailblazers. Before these key Trailblazers players were publicly ruled out of the March 24th game, the defendants, Marv's Fairley and Shane Hennon, themselves and together with their co-conspirators, including co-conspirator 1, placed and caused the placement of multiple bets that the Trailblazers would lose on March 24th game, totaling more than approximately $100,000. For example, between approximately 12 o'clock Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern on March 24th, which was before the key Trailblazers players were publicly ruled out, Timothy McCormick and Long Fee Pham, that sounds like a fake name, acting together with Pham acting at Hennon's direction, placed bets against the Trailblazers of approximately $20,000 through betting companies 1's mobile application and approximately $12,000 through betting company 2's mobile application. The NBA injury reports publicly released at approximately 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on March 24th reported that player 1 was respectively, quote, probable and then questionable to play in the March 24th game. Approximately at 9:30 Eastern on March 24th, approximately half an hour before the start of the March 24th game, the NBA released an injury report listing player 1 and others as, quote, out for the game. The out group included the Trailblazers' 4 highest per game scores during the 2022-2023 season. The betting lines relating to the March 24th game changed upon the public release of the Trailblazers' key injury statuses. The fraudulent wagers against the Trailblazers placed and caused by the defendants Mars Fairley and Shane Hennon, together with co-conspirators acting at their direction, were successful as the Bulls beat the Trailblazers 124-96. I don't know. They didn't say who co-conspirator 1 is, but that co-conspirator 8 was the NBA player from approximately 1997 through 2014 and an NBA coach since at least 2021. So Chauncey Billups, interesting. Maybe it wasn't just the poker playing, Frank.
I guess not, huh?
This is crazy. This indictment thing is it gets more and more and more. There's more stuff on the Damon Jones thing. I mean, that we could get to. I mean, we could just read through this thing all day.
Go for it right now because we cannot go to break at the moment. So
Oh, what happened?
We got thrown into a playlist, it looks like. So
that's fun.
I got nothing. You're about to see Adam. Say, everyone wave hi to Adam.
We talked about the NBA Players Association putting out a statement. Here's the NBA statement. We're in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains our top priority. What a bleep storm for the NBA today. I think we talked about most of the Damon Jones thing with a lot of these co-conspirators. We talked about now the co-conspirator 8th and the tanking situation. Here's the Portland Trailblazers statement for the day. Portland Trailblazers today released the following statement. Quote, we are aware of the allegations involving head coach Chauncey Billups, and the Trailblazers are fully cooperating with the investigation. Billups has been placed on immediate leave, and Tiago Splitter will assume head coaching duties in the interim. Any further questions should be directed to the NBA. The Trailblazers have wiped out media availability today. This just continues to get more and more interesting. More and more interesting. More and more details on the matter, more and more, deep conversations on the indictment. I mean, this as reporters go through the indictment, just more and more starts to trickle out. And it's pretty crazy how this is playing out. The Trailblazer games, the Laker games. I mean, they listed all the teams that were there. I think the Charlotte Hornets were a part of this. I mean, not their organization, but the bets were made on the Charlotte Hornets. And this is just, to me, the tip of the iceberg for what is a huge thing for the NBA today. I tell you what, I mean, Dan Anthony's, you're going to have to tune into some NBA games tonight. You look at the NBA schedule tonight. I mean, this is going to be fascinating. Everybody's going to be asking about this. I mean, every single NBA team is going to have to be ready for these questions. And when we come back, we might have to talk about some of this more. We'll also get some more Aztec football in there and maybe get to the midday sports standoff as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Summer Sports Station, 97 through the Fan. Well, there's a lot going on today that we haven't even got to get to. This hour is brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today with APRs as low as 0%. Tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats during Trucktober sales event happening now only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotaofpoway.com in the heart of San Diego. I mean, this NBA stuff just continues to pile up and pile up and pile up.
I mean, it's an easy day for us, but it's also a difficult day for us because there's so much stuff constantly going out that you can't get to everything. So it's the siphoning of the most important.
I wanted to come on this show today and just rip the Angels a new one. I wanted to do that. I thought that was going to be fun. I mean, how dumb are the Angels? The Angels are so dumb. I wanted to talk about how stupid the Angels are. They hired a manager and gave him a 1-year deal. The owner didn't even show up to the press conference. Stupid. Sam Blum was on fire yesterday.
Yeah.
Is he coming on tomorrow?
I haven't heard back from him. I tried to get him on today, but he has not responded.
The Angels must hate him because they can't get rid of him because he writes for The Athletic.
Well, the tweets
they took him off. Remember last year? Was it last year? They took him off the local reporter show on KLAA.
Oh, God.
Don't you remember that?
No, I don't.
I remember that because we had him on this time slot to talk about it because he had all those reports about how bad the facilities were for the Angels. The Angels they own their own radio station. They own KLAA. They don't even pay for ratings. That's why it always gets a 0. They basically just have random programming. They have the Angels and they have the Ducks. But it's owned by the Halos. And so they had an hour show in the middle of the day. I forget how many days a week where they bring in all the local Angels beat writers to talk about the Angels. They knocked him off that show because they didn't like what he was saying about the team, even though he was just reporting the facilities for the Angels.
Mm.
And then yesterday, I mean, you get the reports from Sam Blum. I mean, he's going in on the whole Kurt Suzuki thing. He mentions certain players that don't like the facilities. Perry Miezon in that conversation starts getting irritated with Sam Blum. The Angels have to hate Sam Blum.
Yeah, I mean, and Kikuchi's been saying that stuff about the air conditioning and the facilities for a while now. I remember that earlier this week. So that wasn't even a new revelation. It was a lot of the stuff, the speculation before the article came out that he was making about the Kurt Suzuki thing, which 1-year contract because Moreno doesn't want to pay a manager during the lockout.
Which don't they not get paid anyway?
As far as I remember, no one.
I remember we couldn't even put AJ Cassavell on the show because he was technically furloughed or off because he worked for MLB. Because MLB.com, even guys like him weren't getting paid or whatever it was. But they wouldn't want to pay for the manager for what? They're the definition of 5 cents holding up $1. I mean that is.
It's not even that, and I said it yesterday. There are poorly run organizations. There are the
Arizona
Rockies.
Cardinals.
There are the Rockies. I'm just talking about in baseball in general. There are the Rockies. There are the Pirates. There are the Marlins with owners that will do absolutely nothing to spend money on their team. I have never seen a team go out and just actively cost themselves money without the end goal of that costing them money being to win. You could say the Anthony Rendon contract is costing the Angels money. They signed him in an effort to win. This is spending money with no intention to win. They are costing themselves money. They are kneecapping themselves at this point. It's unbelievable what is going on up in Anaheim, which is why I will not call them the Los Angeles Angels. I will call them the Anaheim Angels.
Well, all the locals want them to be called that. That's why in the ballpark, they just say the Angels. They don't say the Los Angeles Angels because they know nobody in Orange County wants to root for the Los Angeles Angels. They did it as a ploy. I can't believe they did that. I don't know how much extra money they're making trying to appeal to Los Angeles. But I will say this. The Angels are a joke.
It's incompetence.
I was going to rip them today. I was going to rip the Spanos family today. How about the Spanos family, all the Charger stuff, and they're going with the Superchargers,
Yeah,
but they gotta take San Diego out of everything. They're going to talk about, like, they can't mention anything about San Diego when it comes to these uniforms or the Superchargers. It's like, bro, just stop. All, meanwhile, trying to ploy to try to get people in San Diego to give them money to support their loser of a franchise. I was going to rip them today, too. I don't have time. I hope the Vikings kick their ass today in those blue uniforms. They look good, but at the same time, like, I can't do it.
Bleep you for doing it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was saying that with my friends the other day. Like, I am old. I now feel old with this move. I mean, when I was a kid, the throwbacks were the white helmets and the powder blues, and they wore them like once a year. Mm-hmm. And then they moved to LA, and they knew everybody in San Diego wanted those. And so now those are the new jerseys. And for kids my age who grew up with the navy blue Charger stuff, except they ruined it by putting a number on the side of the helmet because they're stupid.
Yeah, I don't get, what is that about?
I don't get it either. They had it on the old throwback jerseys, and now they've made it a permanent thing.
It was
but
the
they never
original
had that
helmet, wasn't it?
Yeah, the old school helmets. They used to wear those for like the throwbacks, but now with the navy blue, they didn't have that with the navy blue helmets. Why add the numbers on there? So they're trying to appeal to San Diego. They continually try to appeal to San Diego because they can't get anybody up there to give a bleep about them. And so they keep trying, and you guys keep, they keep doing it. This is what drives me nuts about Charger fans. Just embrace the fact that you hate San Diego and you like LA. Just embrace it. I'd expect that. I'd respect them. The whole I'm not rooting for this. You can't pick and choose, man. You are giving them money. You are supporting that family. That's what you're doing. Stop trying to phrase it to make yourself look good. It's like the people that that buy a certain car that's made by a certain person and then puts a bumper sticker on the back of that car saying, well, I'm not supporting this person. You're giving them money. I don't understand. Stop trying to finagle it to seem self-righteous. I'm out on that, especially with the Charger stuff. If you don't care and you just root for the team, fine. I respect that. But the whole rooting for the team, but it's my logo, but I'm not supporting the family. It's yeah, you kind of are.
You are.
You're keeping this thing alive. You could have ruined them by not supporting, but you continue to move them along by being the supporter from San Diego.
Which that as a fan, that's your prerogative.
Yeah, but don't gaslight us into saying that you don't support that organization. You can't do that. They're not separate entities. So that's one thing. That was another thing I was going to talk about today. We're going to get more on Aztec football. Didn't have time for that today.
We
still got to make our picks with Skyler coming up in the 1 o'clock hour.
Next segment, 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
And you still have
football tonight.
And you still have 3 games to pick.
I know. I still got to put 3 games on the list. All with this news about the Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones. And this is just a wild story. This cannot be good for the NBA.
No.
This has to,
it's funny
the NBA has to be scrambling right now.
It's funny how all of these big major gambling investigations not just come out about the NBA, it's basketball in general. Because a lot of the college one that just came out, that was college basketball.
Well, it's going to be for the college football stuff too.
There were some last year with college basketball. It's always surrounding the NBA. Whether it be Donaghy, whether it be players, whether it be coaches, whether it be this now, it's always the NBA.
So the Trailblazers canceled their media availability today. Surprise, surprise. They have a home game against the Warriors tomorrow. Today, there's only 2 games in the NBA. Thunder and Pacers, Nuggets and Warriors. They're both on ESPN. A doubleheader. I cannot wait to see what the pregame show is for the Thunder and the Pacers and how ESPN...
They're going to completely ignore it. And They're going to say
they completely ignored it all morning long.
They're going to completely ignore it, and instead they are going to pound home the fact that it is an NBA Finals rematch.
Yeah. Thunder and Pacers, Nuggets and Warriors, the doubleheader today. I cannot wait to hear what the messaging is from the NBA on ESPN. It's going to be must-watch television. You should play the song. Dun, 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 dun. This could be NBC sitting there going like, "What did we just sign ourselves up for?"
Why did we pay this much money?
And to think I was getting into, I mean, I will say this about the NBA. I'm not a big NBA fan, but let me tell you.
Props on Tuesday.
I just was
or Wednesday.
Here's all you need to know about the NBA. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a big NBA fan in terms of like the on-court product. They're all really talented players at an elite level. I'd rather watch college basketball. But let me tell you this. The NBA is like a soap opera. It is like reality TV. It is just everything about the NBA that's juicy, entertaining, all the tea comes from them not actually playing basketball. All about them like not playing basketball.
Did you
stop it? Don't encourage that.
Have you been to an NBA game?
I've been to 3 actually.
I've been to 2.
I went to Lakers and Spurs playoff game. I can't remember what round it was at Staples Center. When Karl Malone was on the Lakers. That's just the team I remember. I went to that one. I think the Lakers won. I went to Spurs, and they played somebody really bad. I can't remember, but when we were there for the Alamo Bowl, I went to the AT&T Center and watched the Spurs play. So Kawhi and those guys and the Coyote. So I watched them play, and then I was upset with the NBA because I went. This was back when Russell Westbrook was a stud on the Thunder. The Thunder were playing the Grizzlies. Another bowl trip in Memphis at the FedEx Forum. I went to that game. We got there a little late because we went to Rendezvous for dinner, and I only wanted to see Russ play because I think the guy was like dropping like 40-something points a game, 50 points a game. I get there, within 2 minutes of me getting there, Russ gets ejected for like running his mouth.
Oh.
And so I didn't even get to watch the Thunder. So I watched the Grizzlies just destroy the Thunder. But I have been to 3 games.
I've seen the Knicks Clippers at the Staples Center, and I've also seen the Mavericks Clippers at the Staples Center. I wanted to see Dirk versus Blake.
I'm telling you, all the fun parts about the NBA don't even involve them actually playing basketball. It's this stuff, it's trades, and when we come back, we move on to college football. All guests on 97 The Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Well, with all the gambling talk today, let's talk about college football and what spread picks you should have. On the Braden Surprenant Show, the queen of college football has joined us again. Her name is Skylar. She's back with us. It's time to get to the college football picks. Wrong one.
My bad. Sorry, wrong.
But talking about gambling, that's the first thing that has to pop up.
That was a reflex. My bad. Sorry. Hold
Acid
on.
reflex.
Let's get the... my bad. All right, so let's go with the first game of the week. Ranked matchup. This will be at 9 a.m. on ABC. The Ole Miss Rebels in Norman, Oklahoma, taking on the Sooners. Oklahoma favored by 5.5 in Norman. Skylar?
Yeah, this might shock everyone, but I'm really impressed with what Ole Miss is doing right now. I think
she's such a closet Lane Kiffin fan. She loves Lane.
No.
She loves Lane.
Braden wishes one day maybe we'll see, but I might be like hanging onto the back of the Lane train at this
You're
point.
on the Lane
but I'm
train.
not, like, on
you
board.
are driving the Lane train.
I wish, maybe one day I'll captain that one. But I don't know, Oklahoma, I thought they were a lot stronger than they've kind of showed up to be the last few weeks. So I'm going to hop on board the Lane train. Maybe get off at the next stop, but for now.
I think after Ole Miss lost on the road to Georgia and kept it close, I think they actually beat Oklahoma. I'll take Ole Miss plus 5.5. I think Oklahoma's good. I don't think they're as good as maybe they are ranked to be. I don't think Ole Miss drops 2 in a row. I think Ole Miss starts what could be a losing streak for Oklahoma, who has a rough stretch to finish the season. After this week, so Oklahoma was able to survive South Carolina and the Grim Reaper, who's not really very grim anymore. They got Ole Miss this week. They're at Tennessee, at Alabama, Missouri, and LSU to finish the season. They will play all teams ranked inside the top 20 to finish the year. Yeah, good luck. I'll go with Ole Miss.
Who did you say, Skylar? I'm sorry.
Ole Miss. We're both on the Lane train.
We're all going Ole Miss.
All on the Lane train.
I don't think Ole Miss is going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a close one. Coming up next, battle for Kansas.
It's the Sunflower Showdown.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
The Kansas State Wildcats taking on the Kansas Jayhawks. Jayhawks favored by 3.5 at home. This will be a 9 a.m. kick on TNT.
I'll take Rock Chalk. Minus 3.5. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Okay. I'm glad you know the thing. Thanks. We got to get you better on college football, dude. For a guy that plays as much college football 26 as you do, you should know what Rock Chalk is, and you should know the Sunflower Showdown. I'm disgusted.
Brother, my two teams are Hawaii and Penn State.
Good. Start scheduling K-State and Kansas. Start teaching yourself. Start learning up on the Big 12. Dude.
Start learning. I'm gonna start learning. Go ahead.
Braden has an unfair advantage on the Big 12 knowledge here. So Frank, I'm with you on this one, but I'm gonna take Kansas at home on this matchup also.
Rock Chalk.
We're both
unfair advantage. You watched all the SEC. Are you kidding me?
I didn't say I didn't have an unfair advantage on the SEC, but
What's
I said
Frank got?
Big 12.
I've got the Big 10 and apparently the Mountain West and how much Hawaii football I've played this year.
There you go.
Coming up next, it'll be USF versus Memphis. This game is at Memphis, 9 a.m. game on ESPN2. Number 18, USF favored by 5.5.
Skylar gets PTSD every time she sees the USF logo.
I do. The Green Bulls, whatever you want to call them.
The Green Bulls.
The Green Bulls.
But I don't know. Memphis, I think they just dropped their first loss against UAB last week, if I recall correctly. So that's kind of shaking things up a little bit. I think USF's had a pretty good season, so I'll go ahead and go with my Green Bulls.
They're favored by 5.5 on the road. I'll take Memphis at home. I think the Tigers get the job done. Plus, for San Diego State, they could use a Memphis win. Need some carnage in the American Conference. Bulls have looked good all season long, but weird things happen at the Liberty Bowl. I mean, Arkansas had a lot of things not go their way late in that game in Memphis, Arkansas, for those that are named Frank. So I'm going to take Memphis plus 5.5. I think the game's going to be close.
I'm going to go with Memphis as well in this game.
Wanderers, University of Stinky Feta.
There it is. Next up, San Diego State at Fresno State. 12:30 start on FS1. Braden, the Aztecs favored by 2.5.
I'll take the Aztecs. I think they win by 10. After talking with Gabe Camarillo and figuring out what's going on with Fresno State, they got a quarterback that cannot play well when there's pressure. Aztecs have one of the best defenses in college football. They have a three-headed monster at running back. I like the way Denegal has been playing. I like the Aztecs in this one, and the way that Fresno State played against Colorado State. They get behind early, and a team that likes to run the football. San Diego State's going to be able to run away with this one, I think. I'll take the Aztecs by 10, even though it's only 2.5.
Yeah,
Skylar?
I 100% agree. I think 2.5 is a really small spread for this game. The Aztecs have looked really good. I think there's only been 1 week where I think they struggled kind of bad, but they've really bounced back from that, and I think they should have no problem.
I think the reason why this spread is so close is because of the loss at Washington State and then the 6-3 game at Northern Illinois. I'm taking San Diego State.
They hammered Reno at Nevada.
They did. They destroyed them.
And that was a team that was – I thought that our interviews with both the gentleman from Nevada and Gabe from Fresno were eerily similar. Like, oh, well, if they do this and the quarterback this, it's going to be great. And that game got out of control fast.
Very, very quickly. Yes.
San Diego State's good.
Halfway through, number 15, Mizzou at number 10, Vanderbilt. This is College Game Day. 12:30 on ESPN. Skylar, who do you got? Vandy favored by 2.5.
Another College Game Day at the SEC. What a surprise.
Okay, but you have to back them up on this one. This is going to be a really good game. I totally think that College Game Day should be here. I think Vanderbilt hasn't had a College Game Day game since I don't know, the 70s or something crazy. I can't remember what that stat was, but I think they totally deserve to have it this weekend. And this is going to be such a close game. And honestly, it could go either way. They're really evenly matched up, but I have to take Vandy strictly because it's at home. They've got College Game Day. I think they've got all the hype around it. And I think they'll carry that into a win.
That is the exact reason why I'm picking Missouri. I think it's going to be too much hype for Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt coming off of a win over LSU is something that's going to be a little bit of a hangover game against Missouri. Missouri's a team in the SEC that just lingers around. and puts together good seasons, but nobody really talks about them because they're still not really an SEC team. They're one of the Big 12 transfer over. People forget about Mizzou. I got the Tigers. I think Missouri is going to go in there and beat Vanderbilt.
I'm going to take Vanderbilt in this game. Actually, I think they're starting to come into their own. They're playing with a lot of hype, and with this much hype, I think they're going to take it. Braden, BYU number 11, 7-0 BYU at Iowa State. This will be 12:30 on Fox. Iowa State favored by 2.5 at home in this game.
I'm taking Iowa State. I think Iowa State wins this game. I think Iowa State is, if you look at BYU has put together a good season. So far in the Big 12, BYU's played Colorado, who's not good, West Virginia, who's 0-4, Arizona, who's okay. And by the way, Arizona choked that game away at home in Tucson, and they just survived Utah, which is a good win, but it was at home. Their other wins are against Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina. They're 7-0, but they have kept games close. I think on the road in Iowa at Iowa State is going to be a problem for the Cougars. I'll take the Cyclones at home.
Skyler?
I think it's going to be a really tough game. I think it's going to be a test for BYU, but I actually do think that they can go on the road and win. So I'm going to take BYU to upset away, I guess.
Give me my quarterbacks with crazy numbers. Going BYU. Up next, Skyler, number 23, Illinois, fighting Illini, 5-2 at Washington, taking on the Huskies. Huskies favored by 3.5. Big Ten Network at 10:30 for this game.
Yeah, well, I think
12:30. Sorry.
Illinois has put on quite an impressive season. They're 5-2, but they're definitely showing that they're a strong team. And I haven't been overly impressed with Washington so far this season, so I definitely have to take Illinois here.
Skyler?
I like Washington in this game. I think Washington's going to win at home. I look at the resume of Washington. I look at the resume of Illinois. It's relatively the same. At least Illinois got the win over SC when they were ranked. But overall, Washington right there at 5-2. There's a reason that they should be ranked over a lot of other teams that are 5-2. Is with our conversation we had yesterday, Frank, about the rankings and everything that college football is nowadays. I'm going to take Washington at home. I think they get Illinois.
I think Illinois is a little bit better than what they've shown here recently. I'm going to go with Illinois. Braden, Iowa Hawkeyes at home after their win against Penn State, 8.5-point favorites going into this 12:30 kick on CBS against the 5-2 Minnesota Golden Gophers.
This is a sneaky game. Iowa and Minnesota. Both teams are 5-2. Both teams are 3-1 in the Big Ten. Both teams have played ranked teams and have gotten smoked, and both teams have taken care of business against, teams that they should beat. In terms of overall resume, Minnesota has been a little bit more impressive after knocking off Nebraska last week. They did lose the Cal, and they got smoked by Ohio State. Iowa lost to Iowa State early, lost to Indiana tight. They just beat Penn State, Wisconsin. It's going to be a tough matchup, I think, between Iowa and Minnesota. I'm going to take Iowa in this one. 8.5 is tough for a team that doesn't score a lot of points. But you know what? I'm going to take Minnesota plus 8.5. I think the game's close, but I think Iowa wins. So I'll take Minnesota plus 8.5.
Okay.
I was surprised when you said Iowa. I think they're totally capable of winning here, but 8.5 for a team. Like, I always struggle when we talk about Iowa because I think they're a talented team. They've got a great defense, but they just really are quite boring when it comes to offense. They really struggle to put up a lot of points, and I just can't see them beating any team by more than a touchdown. Honestly, I feel like most of their games are so close, so I've got to go with Minnesota.
I'm going to break that trend. I'm going to go with Iowa just for the fun of it. Number 3, Texas A&M, 2.5-point favorites in the Bayou at LSU. This will be a 4:30 kick on ABC. Skylar, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this game. I feel like it's always like a really high scoring game. There's a good rivalry between these two. I think LSU really needs to go in and win this one. I think obviously Texas A&M is is ranked higher, but going into the season, the hopes for LSU were so high. I think they can still bounce back, but if they're going to do it, they need to do it now. And I think that they're going to put everything they can into this game. So I think I'm going to take LSU.
Yeah, Aggies got a little bit of a scare against Arkansas last week, who's not very good. So I'm going to go with the LSU Tigers as well.
I'm going to take Texas A&M. I think they're going to overcome what happened against Arkansas last week.
True, it's not November yet. Their collapse happens in November.
Final game, Braden, the 6-1 Houston Cougars taking on the number 24 Arizona State Sun Devils. 5 p.m. kick on ESPN2. Devils favored by 7.5.
Devils win by 3. I'll take Houston to cover. I think after the win that they had against Texas Tech, a little bit of a hangover game. I think this is the week that you're going to see a lot of upsets in college football. We usually get 1 or 2 of these weekends where it's just like carnage. This weekend, I think, is setting up to be some carnage on Saturday. So give me the Cougs, Coogs.
Skylar?
I kind of wrote ASU off the last time. I don't even remember what the last game we talked about them was, but I totally wrote them off, and I was completely wrong about that one. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. I'm going to go the opposite side. I'm going to take the Sun Devils.
I'm going to go with Arizona State as well. Skylar, you and I both went 5-5 last week. You still have a 2-pick lead over Braden. Braden went 6-4. I am
participating. Frank is wearing yellow pants.
Yeah, we've decided that.
Is that the punishment for
Frank's
the
done
loser?
his own deal.
We have decided that the loser of this, whoever finishes in last place, has to wear yellow pants to work one day.
Okay.
And the winner gets a flight from you within reason.
Okay, that's fair. That's
so
fun.
when you win, Skylar, you can fly wherever you want.
I can fly myself.
Yeah, wherever you want to go.
All right.
How about that? Thanks again, Skylar. Appreciate the time as always. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about college football. Sean Lewis spoke to the media earlier this week. We'll get you a preview of the old oil can. We will also talk what else is going on in college football and keep you updated on the NBA and the crazy findings today in the National Basketball Association. All coming up next on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. All right. Didn't get to the midday sports stand. It's already 1:20. Wow. Where'd the time go?
Federal prison.
Wow. That's only for a couple of these. Well, allegedly. Again, these are all allegations, Frank. Didn't play the midday sports standoff. Lucky for Frank. Although we teased it on our ad, on our promo for the show. Don't want to miss this question.
Question is, there's no question.
That was before, of course, the big breaking news. We can't preview the big breaking news. You know, big breaking news is going to happen. If you could take me down to sports trivia this week for the rest of the month, you'd be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, a trip for two to see Jerry Seinfeld in Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the show on April 17th at the Coliseum and Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and $100 gas card. Jerry Seinfeld returns at the Coliseum and Caesars Palace on April 17th and 18th. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets. We talked about the fan hotline already. This hour on 97 through the Fan is brought to you by IHOP, introducing the IHOP value menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling, sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your happy plates with the $6 IHOP value menu, available every day at IHOP, $7 in some locations. All right. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna hear from Sean Lewis. That's what we're gonna do. Sean Lewis met with the media earlier this week. We're going to talk more college football tomorrow. We're going to have Brett Siegel on tomorrow to talk about this crazy probe that went through with the FBI and the NBA. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, of course. We're trying to get Steve Lavin on the show. Today was West Coast Conference Media Days. Anybody that needs to know, does anybody want to guess who's picked to win the West Coast Conference in basketball? Anybody want to guess? Gonzaga. Anybody shocked by that? That's what I thought. But we'll talk with Steve Lavin. We're trying to talk with Steve Lavin tomorrow, head coach for the USD Toreros. And we'll have more great stuff on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show's jam-packed. Frank doesn't have to do that much work tonight. Locked and loaded, ready to go. Eddie Brown will join us in the next segment. All right, let's get to some Sean Lewis sound, shall we? We gave our first half report card on the offense, and we forgot to do the defense yesterday. What is Sean Lewis's first half report card for Aztecs football?
We've continued to get better. I like the way that our guys have responded week in and week out. But again, like that's been apparent ever since we've gotten back in January. Their response, their emotional intelligence, their competitive maturity continues to grow. So I'm really pleased in those areas of the team thus far.
Offense and defense, what's the biggest challenge?
I mean, we're keeping guys out of the end zone and we're scoring touchdowns. So that's cool.
That is cool. They are doing a good job of that. Second bye was last week. Here's Sean Lewis on the second bye and the timing of having the second bye, where now he has to play and the team's got to play 6 games in a row.
It's just the facts of the matter, right? You got 2. Felt like the guys handled the work week last week really, really well. It was different for each guy individually. Kind of spoke on that, right? Like based off the number of snaps that guys had played and the way that we managed the workload of what needed to get done for each guy last week. Sure, yeah, there's a piece of it where right you're playing well and you have momentum, and kind of that gets stopped because of just the natural flow of things. But I also think it came at a good time for us to, so to speak, prep our gear for the second half of this climb, right? Like make sure our ducks are in a row and make sure that everything with, again, these young men, as they're managing not only what's going on between the white lines, but what's going on in their academic lives, what's going on in their social lives, what's going on in their personal lives, right? That like all that is in order so that as we get into the flow of these last, 6-7 weeks and beyond, all that's prepped, all that's prepared, and they can have a single-minded focus to what we're going to do, this week and the importance and the urgency of this week.
Does he ever take a deep breath? God, he's going
in between answers.
Sean Lewis on being a game away from bowl eligibility.
I mean, that's the expectation, right? Like that's what we should do. You guys get the luxury of being able to zoom out and detach and evaluate those things. I mean, I'll stop and catch my breath at the end of this whole thing and, see how cool all the things are. It's more importantly for me, like how do we maximize today, right? Like, and I think if we handle, again, today the right way and this whole week the right way, then it gives us an opportunity to handle Saturday the right way, and then hopefully the scoreboard can take care of itself at that point in time.
Talking about bowl eligibility with the Aztecs, and then
it's funny how he says I'll stop and take a breath at some point from somebody who speaks at 1,000 words a second.
1,001 words a second. Sean Lewis on getting out to Lincoln this weekend.
It's a pretty special and unique opportunity when you can work here all day with your club and with your team, and then, be 15 minutes down the road for some of the, most elite talent in the country, right? And they're right here in your backyard. And then it was really neat to be able to roll over there and not just be there myself, but then, some of our football guys who are Lincoln guys, right, show up as well. And just to see those guys and the pride and, of them wearing their colors and the reception. And then, to be able to talk to, the great coaches over there and the staff members over there about, things that we said that we were going to do when we first showed up and the way that we're taking care of their guys currently and what the future looks like for us here on the Mesa as we go into the Pac-12. And, hopefully some of those other guys that were in between the white lines that we were there to see recognize that. And those hometown heroes are going to stay home here and they can achieve their dreams the same way that these guys are doing it right here with the red and the black and the Aztecs.
I'll be out there tomorrow. Last thing for you is Sean Lewis on the need to give some players rest during the bye week last week, and now all of a sudden getting ready for 6 games in a row.
Where it was after week 2, where the team was, where individuals were obviously much earlier in the journey and in this climb, we were probably a little bit more aggressive, for lack of a better term, and how we were attacking the work and, getting each unit to come together and understand what needed to get done. And now a little bit deeper into the journey here with some more hits accumulated and just where there's some wear and tear on the guys who have played a bunch of snaps, right? We tried to be smart with that and made some of those practices for those guys a little bit more mental without them losing their physical edge, right? But we got really good players. And the only reason I'm talking to you guys is because I had really good players in the past that make me a really good coach, right? And without those players, I'm a pretty average coach, right? So we want to take care of our guys. And again, kind of told the line, I think our staff has done a really good job of, hey, when to push and when to be physical, yet when we taper back and develop the depth. Because again, as we now go 6 in a row, right? We've kind of had some luxuries of, hey, 10 days off, 14 days off, 8 days off, all right, 6 days, 7 days. There's been some little mini breaks in there that have kind of helped some guys get back to being game ready and play, where we're not going to have that luxury. So we used, this past work week to, really, again, develop some depth and a next man up mindset. And, so that way when the time comes, I don't know when some of those guys' numbers are going to be called, but I know at some point in time here in the back half of the season, they're going to get called, and maybe they get called this week, right? And the work that we've done and the work that they've been doing while they've been waiting, when their number's called and that preparation meets an opportunity, away we go.
We'll get more of a preview of the old oil can coming up tomorrow on the Braden Surprenant Show. But when we come back, it's time to talk with Eddie Brown to get you everything you need to know for fantasy football tonight. Chargers and Vikings is the Thursday night game you can hear on these airwaves on 97.3 The Fan. And into the NFL weekend. Get your fantasy team straight. We get into week 8 of the NFL. We'll talk with Eddie Brown from the San Diego Union Tribune when we come back to finish up the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego Summer Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. 134 on the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Joining us now from the San Diego Union Tribune, he is our fantasy football expert, and he joins us each and every Thursday. His name is Eddie Brown. Eddie, what's going on? How's your Thursday going?
Braden, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Ready to talk some fantasy football with all of the audience today as we have another game, Thursday Night Football, Chargers and Vikings tonight, which you can hear right here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, let's talk about Jackson Dart for a second. You led your waiver wire column with Jackson Dart for a second straight week, calling him matchup proof. At this point, is Dart a must start in all formats, or are we still waiting to see if defenses start to figure him out, Eddie?
No, I think he's a must start. Look, he's a rookie, so there's going to be games where he struggles, I'm sure, passing the ball. But what makes him a matchup proof at this point is his upside with his legs. He's running for over 50. I think it was like 54 yards in 3 of the 4 starts. He has a touchdown rushing in 3 of the 4 starts. He's either ran for 50 plus yards or a touchdown in all 4 starts. So that gives you a nice foundation to build upon. On top of that, he has proven dynamic as far as throwing the ball. Not that he's perfect. He's a rookie and he's going to make mistakes. But, right now he's comparing pretty favorably to Jaden Daniels last year. Daniels started out the gate through the first month of his rookie season. He was the #1 quarterback overall in fantasy. I think he scored like 94, almost 95 points in his first 4 starts. And Dart, in his first 4 starts this year, has scored 90 fantasy points. He's the overall QB4 since he became a starter in week 4. So, look, is he gonna come back to earth as far as throwing the ball? Yeah, there might be weeks where he's not gonna do great, but there's a possibility he maintains this just like Jaden Daniels did last year. And that even in his days where he has a pick or 2 or seems to be struggling with throwing the ball or finding his receivers, especially considering, the Giants don't have Malik Neighbors, he's still going to score you some points with his legs. And on the days that he's able to, connect with his receivers or his tight ends for a couple of touchdowns, he's probably going to run for 50 yards and maybe another touchdown as well, and probably finish in the top 5 that week.
We're talking with Eddie Brown, who joins us each and every Thursday to talk about fantasy football. Get your lineups ready for the football weekend. Eddie, you highlighted Oronde Gadsden II and even called him one of your favorite tight ends in the 2025 draft class. With Gadsden, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Vital all producing, are the Chargers suddenly a fantasy gold mine, or is it that offense due for some regression if you have any of those guys?
Well, no, I think that's the potential, and I think it was always the potential. The risk there is that offensive line is just struggling with all the injuries that it's dealing with, and it's having a hard time protecting Herbert. But the thing is I think that's one of the things that actually favors Gadsden. Quentin Johnston has stepped up. I think he's the #1 receiver when he's healthy there, but he's also a big play receiver down the field. You have Keenan Allen and McConkey going, basically sideline to sideline and operating over the middle of the field. And even Vidal out of the backfield. But Gadsden, I think, can stretch the field through the seam the way Johnston does on the outside. And he can also operate in the middle of the field. And I think that enables Allen, McConkey, Gadsden a little bit of a upside going forward, because Herbert's going to have to get rid of the ball pretty quickly on some of those dropbacks. And also when he's able to make plays with his legs and get outside the pocket and protect himself, then these guys are all capable of making plays downfield as well. So I think there's a lot of upside in that offense. They got to figure out the offensive line. Obviously, Slater's not coming back. But, yeah, I think week to week, Gadsden was somebody that at Syracuse, he just put up ridiculous numbers. He's essentially a wide receiver in a tight end body. And he's able to make plays all over the field. Great hands. His father was a receiver, pretty decent receiver for the Dolphins back in the day. So I liked him coming out. I thought he had, as soon as he got drafted by the Chargers, I thought, you know what, that's exactly what Herbert needs, considering they have a lot of talent on the outside. And so far, it's proven pretty true. He got out to a slow start because they let the veterans come in there and try to block for the run game. But now that they've kind of unleashed him, I think we're seeing what type of upside he has.
Kyle Monangai in Chicago, Keyshawn Judkins in Cleveland, even Bam Knight in Arizona. New wave of rookie running backs popping up on your radar. Which one of these guys do you think has a real long-term staying power for fantasy football owners that need running backs in a time where a lot of guys are getting banged up?
Well, I think Monangai's out there available in pretty much all leagues coming into the week. So I think if you can go out there and grab him, that'd be great. It looks like Ben Johnson's trying to create kind of like I think I wrote like a Dollar Tree version of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in Chicago with DeAndre Swift and Monangai. I think if that holds, if that sticks, and they basically split snaps 45-55 last week, then I think Monangai is going to have flex appeal most weeks, primarily in standard formats. But if you can somehow land Judkins, he's the guy that has staying power. I mean, he's already basically turned into the Cleveland Browns offense. It's been basically a month and a half into his rookie season. He's already basically the top guy there. He's getting 20 plus carries a game, just had his breakout performance, 3 touchdowns. I imagine he's not available in most leagues, so you're probably gonna have to trade for him. But if you can, I mean, what else did the Browns have on offense? They got 2 rookie quarterbacks that they're trying to decide between, and what better way to kind of ease those guys into the game than hand it off to a dynamic running back.
Talking with Eddie Brown for the San Diego Union Tribune, talking everything in fantasy football world this week to get your lineup set for the weekend. Feels like every week there's new mid-tier wideout trending. Tez Johnson, Kayshon Boutte, Troy Franklin, Alec Pierce. Who's the one receiver you think could actually turn into a consistent wide receiver 2 for the rest of the season?
Well, I think Tez has the opportunity because of the injuries, with Evans out pretty much for the rest of the remainder of the regular season with a broken clavicle. We don't know what's going on with Chris Godwin. He has a leg injury. He's week to week. So that basically leaves Egbuka there, who's also dealing with some sort of injury, playing through it, and Tez Johnson, who's we've seen over the last couple of weeks has proven pretty worthy of Baker Mayfield's attention, and obviously Mayfield has trust in him. Made some pretty big plays the last couple of weeks. And so between Egbuka and Johnson, I mean, you're talking like Rachaad White and basically Cade Otton in that offense. So I think Johnson has a chance to be a wide receiver 2 there. I'm not confident that Godwin's going to be able to return to any sort of form this year. And I'm not even sure if he's going to play, to be frank. So you have 2 really talented rookies there. You have a really good team in the Buccaneers. You have a quarterback who's playing out of his mind at peak performance right now, MVP caliber, player right now in Baker Mayfield. So I think he's going to have probably the best opportunity going forward to put up, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 numbers in fantasy.
Talking about some quarterbacks, too. I mean, a lot of people are like in on Joe Flacco a little bit. You mentioned Joe Flacco finishing as quarterback 6 last week. Sam Darnold quietly sitting as a top 10 fantasy quarterback since week 2. Which one of those veterans do you trust more moving forward, or they're both just streaming plays in our eyes?
I think Flacco's a streaming play. He's bound to probably come back to earth at some point. Although, throwing the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I think you or I could probably do, decent, at least be, flex appeal in super flex leagues as a QB too. But I think Flacco is primarily going to be a streaming option going forward, depending on the matchup. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's been playing pretty well. They've actually been protecting him there. I think the Steelers have only given up like 2 sacks in the last 4 games. If you can protect, I think that's the key to Rodgers at this point in his career. He can't get outside the pocket. He can't move with his legs as much as he did when he was younger. But if you can protect him, he still has that arm and he still has the ability to find the open receiver. I think Darnold is Darnold is the one going forward, though. I mean, he's on a bye. I think he's available in most leagues. If you could pick him up, you might have found your starting quarterback going forward, because the way Seattle's coming together, that offense and defense is starting to look pretty good.
Listen, Justin Fields and Darren Waller among your drops this week. Really at the point where it's safe to cut bait on both of those names, or is that a move that could come back to bite some fantasy owners down the stretch? I don't know about Justin Fields so much, but Darren Waller, I mean, he's been doing pretty well, but he's on your drop list this week.
Yeah, that was primarily because I anticipated him going on the IR. The one issue with Darren Waller in his entire career that, as far as on the football field, has been health. And he came out the gate looking really good, and that's all the talent that we remember him having. And then he got hurt again. So, that's something. You're dealing with 6 buys this week. The bipocalypse, the bimageddon, whatever you want to call it. You're dealing with 6 buys. If you need a spot and you got a tight end, no matter how good he is, going on the IR, and especially with somebody his age, with his history of injuries, I think it's good to cut bait. There is risk cutting Fields, I think. I think they're going to move on to Taylor, but then Taylor's kind of banged up, so he might not play. So Fields might have one more chance to save his job this week. But obviously, I think Fields is very talented, and the fantasy upside is there, obviously. So I think there is a little risk just in case he figures it out at the 11th hour against the Bengals this week. But also, like I said, bipocalypse, you got to do what you got to do this week. And if you have another quarterback on your roster that you trust, go ahead and make the move.
You've been riding with whoever plays the Titans as the defensive rule. This week, it's the Colts. Beyond that, which defensive special teams do you think is a sneaky pickup heading into week 8 and then beyond for people trying to plan ahead?
I like the Falcons. I like the Falcons this week and going forward. I mean, especially this week against the Dolphins. I mean, that's a team that's just in complete turmoil right now. Falcons are at home. I think they expected. I think other people expected them to go to San Francisco last week and kind of make a statement game. They were looking like a young team ready to kind of take that move. And the veteran Niners and the coaching staff of that Shanahan and Saleh found a way to take them down. And I think they're returning home, kind of licking their wounds a little bit, and they get a team that just completely is disheveled. So that defense has actually been playing at an elite level, not necessarily fantasy-wise, but in real terms in the NFL. And so I expect to see them have a good performance this week and going forward because, like I said, they whatever issues they had last year, and they had plenty of them, they haven't had a pass rush in probably the better part of a decade. I think they've solved a lot of those issues. I think Raheem Morris has been playing really well. I also like the Bills this week as a streaming option against Andy Dalton and the Panthers. And I think the Eagles are a team to probably target if they're available in your league. Probably get some get back against the Giants. They scored at least 12 fantasy points in 3 of the last 5, and they got bullied last time they played the Giants. So they're at home this week, and I think they're going to want to get a little get back there.
Eddie, appreciate the time as always. Look forward to talking to you again next Thursday, and good luck this weekend in fantasy.
I appreciate it, Brandon. You take care.
Eddie Brown, Santa Union Tribune, joining us each and every Thursday to talk fantasy football. Always a fun time. We appreciate his time. The Biggest Fan Contest returns on Monday, November 3rd. Our grand prize is a night in the Odyssey Suite with 20 tickets for you and your friends to watch future Padres games with, or future Padre game with the whole fan staff. Register your name at 97throughthefansd.com/biggestfan and listen when we announce names each day at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5:30 for your chance to qualify. This hour on 97 Through the Fan is brought to you by IHOP, introducing the IHOP value menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling, sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your happy plates with the $6 IHOP value menu, available every day at IHOP, $7 in some locations. All right, Frank, we had a hell of a day today, huh?
Yeah, no kidding, huh? What a day it has been.
The more and more information that comes about, the better. It just continues. The NBA continues to be the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, that's saying the very least, I think.
How about our boy Gilbert Arenas today? Did you see what he posted today?
Yes, I did.
I mean, I got to go. Is this a fact?
Bro, is that I am a good boy. I am going to cooperate in every way, shape, or form.
I got to see his Instagram account now. Is this legit?
Brother clearly did not learn the whole snitches get stitches bit.
He's posted twice today about this. Oh, I got to log in to see it. It's on his page. All right. Well, today we had the thing coming back.
Was it
Rachel Nichols had the
what's his
update.
What's his Instagram?
No Chill Gill. What an IG account. He posted today, he's wearing a purple basketball jersey, and he's got a brown paper bag in his right hand. It says Informant Lunch in Sharpie on it, and he's holding a cup of coffee or a styrofoam cup, and it
What's his
says,
profile picture?
it's like some animated, I don't know, some cartoon-looking thing. It's No Chill Gill, and it's got a little check mark next to his name. The caption says, got that informant lunch special this morning with a detective emoji, #Agent0. He's the one that posted in July about like snitching on people, about an underground poker ring. Now, he's been on fire today. Gilbert Arenas. This probe, this like gambling sting continues to get crazier and crazier. It's not crazy that this happened.
No.
It's crazy like all the information that is getting leaked in this deal. Yeah, he posted got that informant lunch special this morning.
Yes.
And then he's got a picture of him like eating. Said, did you notice the cup, by the way? Did you notice the cup? It wasn't a styrofoam cup. It's a plastic cup. It's got the Underdog Fantasy logo on it.
Nice.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Then he's got a reel of him walking towards Underdog's Gills Arena to do his little show, and he's eating his informant lunch.
God, you love to see it.
Gilbert really walked on the set with a special lunch. God, the trolling when people are going to or people are probably going to go to federal prison is crazy.
It's legendary stuff. You love to see it.
Pro Football Talk put this out 2 hours ago. Prediction: individual player prop bets will be made illegal by many of the states that have legalized gambling. His prediction. What do you think about that? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
No, I wouldn't be either. They've gone too far.
Thought they had a loophole. I don't understand with this entire situation. I don't get the whole doing this for tens of thousands of dollars when you're making millions of dollars. And I get the rush aspect, but like you're willing to go to prison for a long period of time.
It's called being stupid.
It's stupid. It's
That's
so
what it is.
stupid.
It's called not having a brain in your skull.
And there's a lot of people that apparently have known about this, and we're seeing more and more videos from years ago, months ago, about the situation with the NBA. This one is still the best to me. As part of the indictment, the March 24th, 2023 Portland Trailblazers game. We mentioned this earlier on the show. I got to re-say it. On or about March 24th, 2023, the Portland Trailblazers played the Chicago Bulls, the March 24th game. Prior to the game, the Trailblazers' record was 32-40, and the team was out of playoff contention with only 10 games remaining on the season. Prior to the March 24th game, co-conspirator 8, who has been listed as a former player that played from 97 to, 2014, and has been a coach since 2021, which only indicates Chauncey Billups. But anyway, who has been arrested today for this. Prior to the March 24th game, co-conspirator number 8 told the defendant, Eric Ernest, that the Trailblazers are going to be tanking, quote, intentionally losing to increase their odds of getting a better draft pick in the upcoming NBA draft. That's, by the way, that's just got thrown under the rug. Remember they said that none of the games are, nobody's tanking anything.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Bless you.
Thank you. Leads on to these guys spending money on the Trailblazers to lose right before it came public knowledge, and we're running out of time, but we're going to have a lot more on this tomorrow.
Brett Siegel tomorrow.
With Brett Siegel.
Show's basically written for tomorrow already. I don't know if you've looked at the thing, but the basic format for the show is good to go tomorrow.
Brett Siegel's got some tweets about this. We'll talk to him about it tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff on the show tomorrow. College football, NFL, NBA chaos. Gwen and Chris coming up next. What are they talking about? San Antonio Sports Station, 97.2 The Fan.